Getting nasty on a Monday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 203, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Today should be a fun day. A lot of Blues, a lot of Cardinals talk. If you want to get a hold of the show, you know how to. Air Alliance Team YouTube channel. You want to check us out online, fantastic. If you want to text into the show, you can do that as well. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. You can always leave us a mic drop via the 101 ESPN app. As I look at Jamie and Carey, I know that we're revved up today. Carey's rubbing his eyes. Jamie might still be drunk after getting in from the lake earlier this morning, so... Marsh, you ready to carry the thing?
I'm ready to go. Let's go.
I feel good. You feel good?
I feel great.
All right, sounds good.
Great, Anthony. Come on.
Glad.
I know you guys are gamers. That's all. It's just I looked over at both of you. You're like this. 4 hours is a long time.
Monday.
Yeah. Jamie.
Yeah.
A lot of people were disappointed that you weren't here on a Freedom Friday. Yeah. We understood. You went down to the lake.
It's called Freedom Friday.
Which is you're free to do whatever you damn
I'm
well
free to do whatever I want on Friday.
Very true.
Wow, really? Last time I checked, it's America.
Oh, really?
All right.
Yeah. And you are an American now because you were born in Canada, but you've been here.
He's paid taxes for a long time here.
Yes, I have.
Nothing more American than that.
100% correct.
So I bring up Freedom Friday because a lot of people were interested in your thoughts ahead of the Blues draft or the NHL draft. Now that you've had an opportunity to digest things for the draft, and we will get into the Kevin Hayes trade as well because that happened on Saturday.
Yep.
But the draft overall, I sit here, I can't break down these players, but I love the fact that they went after some oak trees at the blue line.
Yeah.
This is something you have talked about in relation to the Vegas Knights and in relation to winning at the playoff level for a long time now. So I'm pretty fired up to see what they did, but what was your thoughts?
It really wasn't surprising to me. I felt like the Blues were going to target defensemen again. You know, the cupboards were bare for a little bit there. And now with last year's draft and then this year's draft, they've got some guys that are going to come along here. And look, you have to play the percentages too. As much as you love all of your picks, if you're the Blues, you have to understand that there's probably only a few of these guys that will play in the NHL on a regular basis. There will be some misses. And it's not just the Blues. That's every team when you have a draft.
Yep.
But I like the fact that they're getting big guys back there. They got a couple of physical defensemen. Yuri Fisher's son, who I played with in Detroit. Now he's a St. Louis Blues property. So I was texting with Fish about that. He's excited about the opportunity for him to come here. I thought you might see a shakeup or two when it comes to some of the draft picks, meaning Army packaging it up in some kind of a trade to maybe move on a player or whatnot. But the Blues, they held on to their picks, and I don't blame them. You're in a spot in this retool now where it's going to be interesting to see if the Blues get better this year or if by design kind of stand pat in the standings and maybe not even be as close. Because when you got these young guys, like, you have to allot for some development. And if you're full rebuild, it doesn't matter. You finish last place, whatever.
Right.
But when you're drafting as many players as the Blues have in the last two drafts in particular, like, you have to try and create this bridge between where you are now to when those guys can become helpful. Just like it was for Bolduc, Dean, and those kinds of players last year on your roster. Now those young guys have to become the bridge for the next group of young guys. So this is going to be an interesting season. You know, free agency kicked off today, July 1st, which, by the way, guys, happy Canada Day.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And the Blues are pretty quiet. Kasperi Kapanen, I like the deal. I've always spoke very highly of Kasperi Kapanen. He's a great dude.
Great skater.
Great skater, good penalty killer, works really hard. If he's in or out of the lineup, he's not going to pout. He's not going to be that guy. I think Kasperi Kapanen knows where he's at on this team and where he's at maybe in his career right now. Mm-hmm. And I think that could be a real positive signing for the Blues. Now, certainly not like a Nashville Predators day where they just said, screw this, we're signing everybody. So the Predators and the Blues, we've talked about the LA Kings. Now, Army's mentioned the LA Kings and how they retooled their team, had a little bit of a 2-year hiatus, and then got back in the playoffs, and last year were considered to be a contender for a while.
Yeah.
Look at Nashville, what they've done in the last 2 years. Like, that's a complete retool.
Mm-hmm.
And now
We'll see if it works, though.
Now you've got O'Reilly, Marchessault, Stamkos, Forsberg.
Yeah.
Like, you've got some guys.
You certainly do. We've seen this before, though. We've seen this in other sports, where the team goes out there and they win in July, or they win in December, or they win in whatever. And Carey, it doesn't come to fruition when they actually get on the ice, the hardwood or the field.
Yeah.
It's just a collection of talent that doesn't play well together.
It depends on how well and how quickly they come together. If you're able to, train a camp and all off season and prepare yourself and then stay healthy, right? You can get superstars, you can get a lot of guys, a lot of talent in one place, but if people don't stay healthy, and then how all well they mesh together on the ice together when they're playing, that's the thing it's scary though. Like when you see the names, you're like, oh, this is.
Well, they're in your division, too.
Yeah.
Like,
for a team that in Nashville that is already, it's a rivalry, and you know what they were going to bring when you go there, when they come here. So, yeah, it's going to be it's a little worrisome when you see those names, but how well do they all mesh together, and are they able to play together?
And how will the back end of the contracts look? Like, they're not extreme, but still, you've got O'Reilly, who's an aging player. Stamkos is an aging player. Marchessault's older player. Like, what does it look like the last couple of years? Like, if it holds up and you can get through it, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But then is Nashville in a worse place? Are they in a full rebuild 3 years from now?
Right.
Because of what they did in these last 2 off seasons.
You better win. You do something like this, you better win. You're going all in. The Phillies have to win at some point. This has been a remarkable season. They have collected all these high-priced star pieces over the last couple of years. They got to the World Series a couple of years ago. You better win, though.
Yeah.
This is when you try to shortchange the process, and what I mean by that is, the way to kind of do it is the long view of drafting, developing, and then filling in through trades and free agency. When you try to jump to the head of the line and I'll just pay, that's fine. I'll pay. You better win, because like you said, Jamie, those contracts come about. The bill comes due. The bill's going to come in the mail at some point, and you better be ready to pay that freight. It ain't good.
If you win a championship, though, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
But it's almost championship or bust at that point, because you're looking, like you said, 3-4 years down the line. You're like,
For the Predators, this is championship or bust. They gave their goalie a big-time contract while they have the best goalie in the American Hockey League as their minor league goalie. Puzzling a little bit to me, but,
Oh, Juicy Saros got paid, huh?
He sure did.
The juice man.
He did. And, we touched on it earlier. Army making that trade of Kevin Hayes to the Pittsburgh Penguins and attaching a second round to it. We get a question on the text line regarding that. It says, Jamie, please explain to us how in the world Army spending a second to dump Hayes on a retooling team with plenty of cap space makes any sense. We need all the picks that we can. Hayes only had 2 years remaining at 3.5. So, a couple things. You have 2 more years of this player. If he was a healthy scratch coming down the stretch when it was your most important games, that tells me everything to where they thought Kevin Hayes fit in. I heard Alex and BK talking a little bit earlier, and I don't think Alex meant it this way, but he kind of said, well, maybe there was some other stuff, locker room stuff, alluding to the fact that maybe Kevin Hayes was not the leader that they thought he was going to be. That's just not true. It's just not true. And I'm not saying Alex was trying to allude to that. I know he was trying to put the pieces together. Yeah. And kind of figure out why they would do this. Kevin Hayes was a very well-respected player, and he was a great leader. The young guys liked him. The old guys liked him. He helped that team through some tough times last year. The problem with guys like that, though, is when they are not playing their best, it's hard to bring the best of your attributes too that are not hockey related.
Yeah.
Because you're struggling, you're fighting it, so maybe we didn't get the full Kevin Hayes experience because he wasn't having a great season either, but he wasn't a problem. He was a good dude. Now there's a lot of his teammates probably upset that he won't be wearing the blue note next year. Now to talk about the hockey side of it, that's the cost of doing business now. If you're Doug Armstrong and you want to give yourself $3.2 million on the cap to go and tinker a little bit, then you got to attach something to it. And let's not forget, the last 2 drafts, the Blues have had so many draft picks. So many draft picks. And, the second round they give up in 2025, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Again, it's a potential player. It's a draft pick you hope turns into something. The Blues still have the first rounder next year, the third rounder as well. For me, the top 3 rounds are the key. And then in 26 and 27, they have first, second, third. So if they had to attach that to get cap space available, and Army's going to do his damage probably tomorrow. Free agency. This is like the feast, right? July 1st hits, and it's like wham! All the big names are gone, and there will be teams that wake up tomorrow going, why the hell did we do that? Because you get caught up in this intense craziness, the frenzy of it, and you got another team competing for a middle 6 forward, but you're like, no, screw that. We'll give him 6 years at $6 million. But he only had 40 points. Yeah, I don't care. We're not losing to this guy. Chandler Stevenson, I liked him as a pick, but come on. Yeah. He's not worth what he got. There's so many guys that got money that they're not worth. So I don't hate that Army took a step back. Let the dust settle a little bit here. Let's go find a $2 million or $2.5 million player now that we can sign, and it's a middle 6 forward for us. Maybe play up the lineup, and that's where the Kevin Hayes money becomes important, because you spent $1 million on Kasperi Kapanen, and now you've essentially got $2 million left, $2.2 million left to go find another guy, and that's just using Kevin Hayes money.
Right. Yep. Yeah, you got it projected 15 something.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you have to be, you got to be aware of that side of it. But ultimately, it's clear that Army's holding the course. He talked about Bolduc playing more this year, bigger responsibility. Zach Dean's going to have a bigger responsibility. He's going to be leaning on the younger guys to try and bridge that gap to the next wave of that talent coming up.
Yeah. Here's the thing. On the Kevin Hayes trade, I know some people are like, well, why did, he made a mistake making the deal. Yeah, and he got out of it. No general manager, no president's going to be perfect. They're going to have deals that they're going to regret. Do you hang on to that player and wear it, or do you find a way out? Mo did this with Mike Leake. He realized that Mike Leake wasn't a good fit. He wasn't performing well, and he found a bidder, and he had to give up a lot of DeWitt's money in order to move him to Seattle, and he did. The 49ers realized that Trey Lance wasn't going to be the guy for them. Was it a bad trade? 100%. But they credit them for finding Brock Purdy with the last pick of that draft, or one of the draft after, or whatever it was, and realizing they had their guy, and they move forward. That's it. You're going to have bad decisions.
You move on from it.
And move on. Get the cap space. It's going to cost you a second-round pick. And like you said, Jamie, give them credit for acquiring a lot of these draft picks along the way over the last couple of years, in order so that this doesn't hurt as bad. But you're gonna have misfires as a GM. It's every GM does. And
as far as a second round pick is concerned, depending on where you're at as a hockey club, you might get that back even before the season starts. Or even, what about a deadline deal? What if the Blues are in sell mode for whatever reason this year, and they're like, okay, so they recoup a second somewhere else.
Right.
That you can get those picks back when you're a team that's retooling.
Right.
There's always a way to get those picks.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Mike Leake wasn't a good fit, so he stole a bunch of T-shirts. He did that with the Reds. He didn't do that here.
We think.
Not that we know.
That's right.
All right. Are the Cardinals continuing to prove that they're a middling team, or has their recent record said otherwise? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
strikes. Lined and caught. History for Helsley. The Cardinals shut out the Reds 2-0. What a homestand. The Redbirds go 7-3. They're back to 3 over 500. And man, oh man, will they enjoy an off day tomorrow.
Wowie, wow, wow.
All right, Chip Carey, Bally Sports Midwest, and, of course, Janet at the end there as the Cardinals beat the Cincinnati Reds yesterday. While they split with Cincinnati, as Chip Carey mentioned, the homestand was really good. And I thought yesterday was kind of pivotal, quite frankly. You had the game on Thursday in which you gave up 11 runs in that 11-4 beatdown. Michael has had his worst start in his last 6 or 7 outings. But on Friday, Andre Palante gave you everything and more. Bullpen outstanding. You shut out that same Cincinnati team in a 1-0 victory. Hell of a game by Brendan Donovan. Great catch. I don't know if it gets out or not, but hell of a catch up against the wall to, at the very least, save the Cardinals from allowing a runner to be in scoring position and to win that one. Sonny Gray did not pitch well on Saturday. So you're set up yesterday to potentially lose the series as opposed to split. And I get it. It's the Reds. You shouldn't just be splitting against the Reds. But you were in a moment yesterday where they've got Hunter Green on their side, who's he's got way more upside at the very least than your guy in Lance Lynn. And Lance Lynn, you worry about the blow-up inning, especially against this team. And yet he goes out there, he pitches incredibly well. He outpitches Hunter Green, and you wind up winning the game, your second shutout of the split of the series. Cool. I thought yesterday was pivotal. Now I look at Carey Davis's face.
Oh, he's disgusted.
And he's seemingly disgusted with everything I'm saying.
Disgusted is not the correct word. I would give the Cardinals credit. There was a 9-game. It was supposed to be 9 days in a row where they were playing. They had the one rain out, so they had the doubleheader.
Yeah.
So essentially 9 days where they were playing, and to finish that road trip 7-3, outstanding. Mm-hmm. You know, you had the one game in Rickwood and then 9 games in a row. Outstanding. Right. But it's concerning for me. Like, you win 2 games, you don't allow any runs. That's wow, that's good. You lose 2 games and you allow 20. Like, to me, I don't know that
formula, Carey.
I don't know. I don't know where and that's part of the reason why the run differential is so lopsided for them, because when they win, they just eke by. When they lose, they get their heads beat in. And so it's frustrating for me. I don't feel like this team, and I know people think, oh, you're just hating. We won the last game. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's not consistently good enough. Like, the losses look really bad. Like, Nolan Arenado looks uncomfortable at times at third base. Plays that I've seen him make his entire career here, he's not making. And they're not calling them errors, but for him, I'm sure he would say, yeah, that's an error. That's not a hit. Like, I make that play in my sleep. So some of those things are a bit concerning for me, and I'm watching it, and I get frustrated by 10 runs, 11 runs, 20 runs in 2 games. That doesn't sit well with me. So, all in all,
what about the 0?
I love it
in the 18 innings.
Wonderful, perfect, great. Do it again. Keep doing it. But that wild card is not, to me. Mm-hmm. That's not where you should be. It's not solidified. It's not comfortable for me. Watching them, being number 2 and number 3 in the wild card. That's to me, that can change in 1 week. Literally, you could be 3rd in the wild card standing, 2nd in the wild card standing, or you could be at the bottom of the bottom of the entire National League, because it's so close for everybody there. It's just not comfortable enough for me, and giving up 20 runs in those 2 games, bit concerning.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like you said, Carey, when you're winning, you're kind of squeaking by. But then when the wheels fall off, boy, do they fall off. And I don't know what the explanation is, obviously, because if the Cardinals knew how to fix it, they'd probably fix it. I don't mean by going and get other players. Just internally, you'd think that the coaching staff would fix it. But I don't know, man. It just seems like I'm watching a lot of games throughout the entire league, especially the National League, and a lot of teams are doing that. Mm-hmm. It's happening the same way to where they have that one blow-up game per series or that one blow-up game every 4 games. Now, the Cardinals happen to have 2, but I think this is ultimately why the National League is so tight and so screwy right now, is because you're getting great baseball out of a team one day and you're getting horrendous baseball another day. And so it's creating this imbalance of where you're like you said, I'm just stressed out. I don't I don't know if it's going to be a tight day or if it's going to be a blowout day.
But we knew going in you're not the Dodgers. We knew going in you're not the Phillies. We knew going in you weren't going to be one of the top teams. This is a team that will look horrible for stretches and will look good for stretches. This is we knew this.
This is who they are.
Yes,
Middling.
and that's most. Yes,
is that what it said? Middling?
Yes, you are.
Okay,
you're middling.
All right.
You're a middling team.
So,
and you're gonna go.
Everyone agrees to that.
You're
agrees with that.
I think you're gonna. I don't think that this team specifically gets far away from. They're going to be tethered to right around 5 games above 500 all season.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I don't think they're going to get that far away.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to build. They're not because they're not good enough to do it. Most of the league isn't good enough to do that. Look at the Yankees. The Yankees started off really well. They got Garrett Cole back. They're getting shelled left and right. Although, thanks, you managed to put one together on Friday night. I got the over in that one. I missed the Yankees. Palante went out there. He shoved. So yeah. I got that. I got what I needed from that.
I had the under in strikeouts, and he was at just 5.
Yeah.
Congrats to Jamie. He won. He beat me by 1 in Bet the Board.
I did the Cardinals thing.
You did the Cardinals thing.
I hammered off 9 wins in a row and then barely hung on to win.
Yep. That was my month prior to that. Yeah. Regardless, though, you look at Major League Baseball. If you consume enough Major League Baseball, not just with the Cardinals, you watch other teams as well. This is what the product mostly looks like, unless you're in Philadelphia or L.A. Dodgers, of course, not Angels.
Yeah. I don't think anybody mistook that.
I don't think so either. Even the World Series champion Texas Rangers
runs in the 11th inning, I think, the other day.
Yeah,
in extra innings.
It was extra innings. Yeah. They did. But they dropped 2 of 3 to the Giants. Yeah. And the Giants, you saw them. You just swept them a week ago. Giants turn around, they take 2 of 3. That's is baseball.
But this is the National League. Like it is. Mm-hmm. It's. I guess that's parity.
I'm not telling you it's good baseball. You keep thinking that I'm convinced you it's not good baseball, but it just kind of is what it is.
Right.
You know?
I think that's where we land.
I feel like Carey has this expectation of this team like they're going to be much better than they are. Like, I think you can have those expectations in the offseason to want your team to be better.
Of course.
From a roster standpoint. But at what point do you look at this team and you're like, okay, I can't raise my expectations because I simply can't, because they will not provide that. And I'm just going to be sitting here being bitter for an entire summer.
Right. You're going to be bitter in April when they're not playing well. You're going to be bitter in May when they start to turn things around because you don't believe it. You're going to ride the roller coaster in June. This is the team. You're going to get good stretches. You're going to get bad stretches. Nothing has changed since mid-May. Outside of the fact that they're now in Anthony. They're at least in it.
Since Mother's Day, you watch your mouth.
This is what I'm saying, though.
Right,
it's still the same
team. Thank you for noticing, Carey.
Right. Yeah.
It's the same team since Mother's Day.
Is it?
It is. Since Mother's Day?
That's what I keep hearing. They're better. And their record shows that they are.
They're better than what they were in April.
But it's still concerning. Like it's
from what standpoint?
From the standpoint that you give up 20 runs in 2 games that you lose.
But what I'm asking is, Carey, you didn't think you were smart. You didn't think that they were going to win the World Series. So what are we comparing it to?
I felt like that this team would be better in the division in terms of being, first. They're second, but they don't. It doesn't feel second. It feels like you're a 3-game stretch from being last, or a 5-game stretch from being 4th or last. Like that's how this feels. It literally feels like from day to day, you're watching the standings, and it could fluctuate, and it has. It will. If you go on a stretch where you don't win a few games in a row, you will be out of the wild card if those teams behind you win, and that's essentially what this team is right now.
This team was a last-place team last year. Mm-hmm. Like, we can't have the expectations of this team is going to be a last-place team, and then they're going to win the division the next year. They have, virtually the same players, at least from an offensive standpoint.
That team was much better in 22. Like, no one expected from 22 to 23 the fall off. 93 games, I believe, in 22 to 71 wins in 23.
But your two best players are older now.
Okay. You should have traded them then.
Can't take their house. They're too old.
What?
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. What's trending is next.
It's July, and that means it is hot outside. And if you're tired of paying those high utility bills every month because your home AC keeps running, it's probably because your windows are not energy efficient. If yours are builder grade or over 8 years old, the seals are likely broken and air could be leaking out, and you're paying the price in high utility bills all year long. Window Nation's high quality windows are built to last a lifetime. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you'll get 2 free windows. There's no limit to how much you can save. Plus, you can save even more with zero down, zero interest, and payments for 24 months. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty, and they can be installed in 1 day or less. They were even recently ranked highest on the Forbes list of best window installation companies, so you can trust the Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Stop paying more than you have to. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now, 866-90-NATION, or visit them online at windownation.com. That's 2 free windows with every 2 you buy, zero down, zero interest, or payments for 24 months, 866-90-NATION, or go online at windownation.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a SportsCenter update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals picked up a win yesterday against the Cincinnati Reds, 2-0 the score. They split with the Reds over the weekend. They have today off, but they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow. First pitch is at 5:40. The NHL draft was over the weekend. A few notes from the Blues. They traded Kevin Hayes to Pittsburgh for a 2025 second-round pick. The Blues will get future considerations. Kasperi Kapanen signed a one-year, $1 million deal, and the Blues drafted defenseman Adam Juracek at 16th with the first overall pick. We'll continue talking about the Blues and the Cardinals throughout the remainder of the show. We're going to get to what's trending coming up next. We'll dive into City SC as they lost 4-3 to Vancouver in an interesting move made today. We're going to talk about that coming up right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the SportsCenter update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Bradley Cardinal is out as head coach for City SC. Here's Luch Pfannenstiel talking about the decision.
Yeah, in the end of the day, it comes down to performances. We didn't win enough games this season. We didn't pick enough points. We had a clear goal for this season that we want to make the playoffs. We believe that that goal is now in danger. And unfortunately, it's part of professional sports and professional soccer that you have to make this decision. It was, for me personally, a very tough decision as well. We worked together for a long time. I knew Bradley before. And that's definitely a tough one, but we believe it was the right moment.
What was that?
No,
Somebody piped up.
Somebody didn't.
somebody unmute their mic.
Unmuted,
Their mic.
Anyways, guys, this one is really weird to me because you had an expansion team last year that completely outperformed anything that anybody expected.
Yes.
Got yourself to a playoff game. You fell flat in the playoff game, and down the stretch, you guys weren't all that great. But still, an amazing year for an expansion team. So amazing that you give Bradley Cardinal an extension.
Right.
In the offseason. So now Bradley Cardinal is having the kind of season that I think most people expected the team to have last year. Mm-hmm. So you're getting that expansion team slump or that performance or sophomore jinx or whatever you want to call it. I don't care how you word it. And you're still a team that can make the playoffs. Yet now you fire the coach. Mm-hmm. What is he doing differently this year from last year? And I keep hearing like reoccurring theme of, the training is really hard. The training is really hard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, are the players? Is Bradley Cardinal too hard on the players, or are the players soft?
Get rid of the players then.
You can't get rid of every
Can't do
player.
that.
Well, let's restart.
It's almost impossible.
Let's restart.
But they've got 3 additions coming in July here to where the team could improve
Ronaldo?
drastically.
No.
And I don't know. I find it weird.
Yeah, I do too. I think the part that you had talked about, Jamie, is the extension. He gets a contract extension through 2025, and that was back in January. So January of this year, Bradley Cardinal received an extension for his contract, and at the time, Pfannenstiel called it a no-brainer. So what happened? Besides the fact that you have players on your roster that cannot score, despite the fact that the net is the size of this building, you don't have guys that can score. See, you have gone scoreless in 6 games this year.
Maybe.
6 MLS games, I should say. 6 MLS games. So your roster stinks, and you turn around and you fired the guy that was a no-brainer to sign him in January.
Well, I asked this question last year because the style of play that City has is very attacking. They are always pressing, moving forward. Like, you're always going. Is that style sustainable for an entire season? It felt like last year it was not. As we got down towards the end of the season, you kind of saw it kind of tailing off, and then the playoffs happened, and you don't win against Sporting KC. And then you come into this season, and you're not having nearly the amount of success that you had last year? Are guys tired? Are they worn down? If you're training at that pace and playing at that pace the entire game, it gets really hot here in St. Louis in July and August. You're going to be tired, and you're going to not possibly not be able to have the same amount of success. When you're fresh, beginning the season last year, it was perfect. It was new. It was something that the other teams were not prepared or not aware of. And then as it starts to dwindle, as the season starts to, wane along and go on, people start to pick up on it, and your players start to get tired from it. And I wonder if that's just a carryover from last season.
Yeah, I look at it, and there's a lot of rumors circulating around the interwebs that the players didn't really like Bradley, that he wasn't a popular coach amongst the players. Like, so be it, I guess. But if you're Lutz and you're the front office and the ownership of City SC, do you not know that already?
Right.
Like, do you not know that halfway through last, like, whatever the case is, Lutz seems to be, to me, a very hands-on general manager. He's down on the pitch all the time. He's there for the training. Like, you see these things. If you're watching and you see your coach being too hard on the team, or the team starts to like rebel in, not so much like, hey, we're not going to do this, but just, you can always tell when a player's rebelling, they're not going 100% in a drill.
Right.
And they consistently don't go 100% in the drill, kind of telling you this is what you're getting. That's it. If you see that, like, you have to recognize that too, whether you're the coach and you get mad at the player, or you're the GM and you're standing there watching it going, the players aren't reacting to the coach anymore.
Right.
To me, it's just weird the way this all went down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Led the team to that historic inaugural season, won the Western Conference, 17-12-3 record. Now he is out. So, and MLS coaches apparently get fired left and right. So they're just following suit now. You thought you had the right guy a year and a half ago. I don't get it. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Are fans already growing tired? And I don't even say already. How about I just say this? Are fans growing tired of Nolan Arenado? We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN. Happy Roof Company, they have to be your first call when you have an issue. Do you have a leaky roof, an old roof, a damaged roof? You don't know maybe if one of the recent storms had hit left damage to your roof. Well, the Happy Roof Company, when you call them today at 314-665-3001, or when you call them tomorrow or the next day, you will have somebody at your house to look at your issue within 24 hours. And the Happy Roof Company, located right here in St. Louis, they don't chase storms. They don't have, they're not one of these companies that go in and out of cities and towns just looking for that quick buck and then they're out. No, they've got a warranty that lasts. 10-year warranty, labor warranty on all shingle roofs. Over 50 years combined experience in roofing, siding, and gutters, and an A-plus rating with the BBB. That's what you get from the Happy Roof Company. But if you had damage to your roof and your insurance company has already paid you and you're just looking for a roofing company to come out and give you an estimate, great. The Happy Roof Company, they've got free estimates with competitive pricing. If your insurance claim got denied, all your neighbors are getting roofs, except for you, call the Happy Roof Company. They work well with insurance companies. There's no reason, if you have any issue or you're looking to get a new roof, not to call the Happy Roof Company at 314-665-3001 or visit them, thehappyroof.com online.
Even count for the catcher, Maley. Little dribbler hit toward third. Arenado bare hand. Throws to first. A gorgeous play. And 2 out. Catcher running certainly helped, but Arenado got a great read.
Chip Carey on the call there, Bally Sports Midwest. One of Nolan Arenado's great plays this year. Unfortunately, I think it was backed up, as Marsh pointed out to us in the break. It was backed up by one of his worst plays of the year, or one of the lousy plays for him. And it has been a roller coaster, unfortunately, defensively at times for Nolan Arenado. It has not even been much of a roller coaster offensively. He is having one of his worst offensive seasons, if not the worst, period.
By far.
So Marsh took a deep dive in the Twitter sphere and highlighted some of the tweets of fans growing tired of Nolan Arenado. Here's one from Ryan Dog 1. This might be an unpopular opinion, but if you could get anything of value for Arenado at the deadline, I'd move him even if we're still in a wild card spot. He's declining at an alarming rate and is the least clutch, quote-unquote, star I've ever seen in St. Louis.
Here's...
That stings.
Yeah, that certainly does.
That one stings.
Yeah, that
stings the nostrils.
Here's where I get perplexed a little bit, is I think that, and I guess it's normal, things are not going well for Nolan Arenado at the plate, but it is now lending itself to his defensive play too. And I think it's because he's so domed up over the lack of offense that he's providing to the Cardinals that even when he's in the field, he's unable to concentrate fully on the defensive side. There was a stretch, if he started the season just like this, there was a small stretch where he hit the ball, he hit a home run, had a couple of hits in like a 3-game series. I wish I could remember. And his defensive play was unbelievable too. He made a couple of really unbelievable defensive plays, fading out of the foul line, the Nolan Arenado across the diamond for the out. And we had BT on following that series and kind of asked him the same question. I said, hey, is it possible that it goes hand in hand? And he was like, yeah, it's a really good possibility that he's getting inside of his head so much about the offense that the defense now is starting to show holes.
Yeah.
You can't have... Carey, you know this. Anthony knows. Just if you're not good in one area of the game, you have to make sure you're contributing in another area. So for me, if I'm a hockey player and I'm supposed to score goals, and I'm not, I have to do something else to help the team win. Nolan Arenado not producing at the plate, and now where you cringe a little bit, you're stressed on the defensive side. You can't have that.
I've never seen this version of him. I don't know if it's due to age and a year older than last year. Last year was his first year not winning a Gold Glove in 10 seasons, I believe. So having that happen and having it happen in real time and watching it, there are plays that I've seen him make. Like, again, he probably has made those plays in his sleep. Like, he can walk through and make certain plays without having any issue. And I'm watching balls get past him, and it just looks bad. There was a play, I think it was Sunday, where he was reaching for a ball, and he almost stumbled into the umpire. Like, that play... That looks like an older gentleman playing in a beer league, and that's not who he is.
Damn.
No, I'm serious.
Carey?
Am I joking?
I thought the same thing. I thought he threw his back out.
It's like an older gentleman playing, like me, trying to play third base in a softball beer league, and I threw back a few, and I'm not nearly as good as Nolan Arenado is at his position. That's what I felt like, because that's a play I've seen him routinely make over and over and over again. And so it's a little bit frustrating to watch it because I don't know how you correct it. I don't know if the two are tied hand in hand. I got to be hitting balls out of the park. I got to be hitting balls in the gap, and then I'm going to play my best defense. I don't know if those two things are tied together, but right now neither of them are happening at the high rate that we're accustomed to seeing.
We get a lot of texts here on the Air Comfort Service text line suggesting that maybe he's hurt. And then we have other people saying, well, if he is hurt, at what point do the Cardinals pull him out of the lineup and enough's enough? And if he isn't hurt, at what point do the Cardinals pull him out of the lineup and say, enough is enough? You're going on the 10-day IL. and you're going to work through these things on the IL.
I mean, it is kind of funny. We reference the program, the movie, the program a lot, and it is interesting though. Like, are you hurt or are you injured? Right. So if he's dealing with something that's just kind of nagging, then he probably continues to play. If he is,
but if you're playing like this,
I don't. But here's the thing.
I don't think he's hurt. I thought he was hurt last year.
Yeah,
I thought his back was hurt because it just looked different. Like, I don't think he's hurt this year. He looks fine to me. He just doesn't look like he's capable of making the plays that he's normally made year after year.
So here's the real issue, because in June he actually hit 273. So the batting average was there. The problem, of course, is the slug.
73.
Yeah. I mean, today's baseball, you might as well be Tony Gwynn in today's baseball, 273. I mean, come on.
Herzog, we apologize.
Yes. I apologize to, Tony Gwynn and Ichiro and everybody else that hits for high average, okay?
You should.
But for him, it's not like he's been a total disaster. He's not hitting for any power, though.
No. And when you're a cleanup hitter, though, Anthony.
Exactly. Arenado. So I'm trying to specify the actual issue, because you will have some people say, like, 99 WRC plus. We're not talking about somebody that is dreadful offensively. We're talking about somebody who is below his career norms. But the biggest issue is what you just brought up. You can't hit 3, 4, 5 and not be able to drive in runners and not hit the ball out of the park and not have any slug. His slug hasn't been over 400 since April 17th. That's the issue with Nolan Arenado. It's not that he's a complete dumpster fire. It's that there's no slug, there's no power, there's no pop. And yes, I agree with you. He takes it on the field. You can see it. Because that dude is way better defensively than what he has shown consistently. You can't make the plays that he does where you're like, okay, no human being on earth can make that except for you. And then follow that up with, I could have made that play. Like, that you're domed up at that point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just go back to, like, how do you get through it then? Because right now the Cardinals are in the situation that they're in currently because they don't have the power of Arenado and of Goldschmidt in their lineup this year. This is why they're middling. Because if you had those guys going at the clip that they have been in the past,
right,
you're burying everybody. Mm-hmm. Like, you're in the lead for the division most likely. So it's affecting the entire team, not just Nolan Arenado. I don't know how Ollie Marmol and his staff get through this without it turning into an absolute ish show, because benching or pulling a Gold Glove, a Silver Slugger, a potential Hall of Famer out of the lineup because he's lost his mojo. Mm-hmm. Like, that's never easy.
They already moved him to the six hole. Like, they have taken him, a couple of games, took him out of the 3, 4, or 5 role. They put him at 6, and I don't know if that's what you continue to do, because, again, if you aren't hitting at the 3, 4, or 5 spot, if you're not hitting for power, then you probably shouldn't be there.
Correct.
And on this roster right now, who would you say is
somebody has
consistently
to step up? That's
hitting
the other
for
problem.
power?
Exactly. It's
Nolan
not just
Gorman, but he's
not hitting much these days.
There you go. When he hits it, it goes. When he does hit it, though, Jamie. When he runs into one, it goes far.
Yeah.
He has to run into him more.
All right. Let's go to Chuck, who left us a mic drop on this very topic with Nolan Arenado.
Of course, we're sick with Nolan Arenado. He's old. Father time has come. Father time always comes. If you could trade him for a serviceable outfielder right now, I'm all aboard. Get that contract off the books. Old man Goldie right behind him at the end of the year. Maybe you can make some deals and bring in a good player, because we all know we live in St. Louis. Ain't nobody cool coming here. No cool free agent coming to St. Louis unless they like to hunt deer.
Hey.
Well, Chuck brought up part of the problem, though, too, in that mic drop. It's contract. Nobody's going to take on that deal.
Nobody is.
Yeah. It's not like somebody's going to look at it and be like, oh, okay, well, let's take on the contract at Nolan Arenado's worst offensively. It's just not going to happen. So you're kind of stuck with them for right now.
We get an interesting text from the 573. It says, superstar players don't appreciate hearing in the media they're dogging it by a bunch of iPad nerds, i.e. coaching staff who can't play the game. Okay, so then
when do you take responsibility for your own stuff?
But then who's allowed to tell them?
Nobody, Jamie.
I know,
unless you were an all-star or a MVP.
Hall of Famer.
You can't criticize.
Hang on. Marshy, get Ozzie Smith on the phone. We're going to have Ozzie talk to Nolan Arenado and tell him that he's not playing well because Ozzie's the only one that'd be allowed to.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Other than that, first of all, they shouldn't be listening to us anyways. Like, you have a job.
Maybe they should.
You know what, Jamie? Actually, I think everyone should.
They may laugh. They're not going to learn anything, but they'll laugh.
They'll
Lighten
learn.
them up a little bit.
They'll learn. They'll figure it out. These guys don't like me. No, we do. We love you. We want you to be the best version of yourself so the St. Louis Cardinals can win championships. That's what I think that's what every fan is asking for. If you are unable, incapable, or unwilling to do so, then there's the problem. Mm-hmm. Like, if you can no longer do it at the level that fans have been accustomed to seeing you do it, that's the problem. And that's not your fault because you're going to get paid regardless. That's the front office's problem. They should be able to recognize and realize these things prior to it becoming a problem. That's what good businesses do. Figure out the solution and make changes in advance of that problem actually coming to fruition. So the Cardinals haven't done a good job. Nolan Arenado still has, I think, good baseball left in him. I think he will be able, hopefully, to figure it out, but it's not happening at the rate that it needs to happen right now for this team.
Got a text from the 310. Cool mic drop. Meanwhile, Wilson Contreras is the same age and prior to the injury was a top 10 hitter in the game by WRC+.
It's not wrong.
Yeah, from an age standpoint, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Good text. Nolan Arenado starts hitting like Wilson Contreras. I don't think we have an issue anymore. It's as simple as that, right, boys?
I think the text is saying, well, how can Wilson do it? If we're saying father time, how can Wilson Contreras be doing it, but Arenado can't be? They're
that's true.
Age.
Yeah.
And Contreras plays a demanding position as well.
Yes.
The catcher position is demanding.
Very true.
So I think that's what he meant by that.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm here for you.
Thanks, Jamie. You know, as part of that Orange Green group. Does the Blues cap space make a Buchnevich extension more likely? Jamie will tell you next on 101 ESPN.
I've lost my mojo.
Mosby Building Arts, they're incredible. And if you have a smaller project that you're looking to do, maybe it's an outdoor fireplace, maybe it's a front porch, you want to kind of create a dry landing zone. Maybe, you got something that's going on with the front porch where it's, it's kind of off kilter a little bit. Maybe it's columns outside the exterior, patio doors, whatever it may be. There is no small project for Mosby Building Arts. They're going to give you the same, same expertise when it comes to bigger projects as well as the smaller projects. You're still going to work with a design team. You're still going to have your own team that comes in that ensures that your project is done the right way the first time. If you go out to those big box stores, you go to somebody that you're trying to price this thing out for the least expensive option possible. You may get somebody that either falls behind, doesn't have the right materials, uses cheap, ineffective materials, maybe adds on to the cost because they don't realize that what they quoted, the price that they quoted you up front was actually the wrong one. With Mosby Building Arts, they're incredible. Small project, big results, minor changes, major rewards. Going with Mosby Building Arts, they're fantastic. They're the company that we use in the Stalter household when it comes to any of our smaller or big projects. So if you're looking to redo your entire kitchen, great. Mosby Building Arts, give them a call. If you're looking to just do something small, like something with the porch or your front door, garage door, whatever it is, Mosby Building Arts, they're fantastic. And tell them Stalter sent you. Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. Well, on Saturday, the Blues traded Kevin Hayes to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for they attached a second-round pick to the Kevin Hayes trade for future considerations. It was a pure salary dump. They freed up $3.571 million with the cap hit there, so they're going to free up some space. And I realize that a lot of people are focused in on that second round pick. Like, why would you do that? It's a bad deal. Why'd you trade for him? Okay, you're gonna have misses. Do you continue to ride out the storm with a player that no longer fits and is expensive? Or do you dump the money, get the cap space back, realize it was a mistake, and move forward? That's what Doug Armstrong did. And it cost him to get out of this deal a second-round pick. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. Yes, in hindsight, he shouldn't have made the deal for Kevin Hayes. I get that. But you can't work in hindsight when you're a GM or you're a president like Doug Armstrong is. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, was it a bad deal? No question. Is this a bad one? Yeah, from the standpoint of it's Kevin Hayes and a second-round pick for nothing.
So what if
you're getting out of that deal to get yourself more cap space?
What if I had told you?
What if I told you?
The second-round pick to Kevin Hayes is no longer an unknown commodity. It's actually a player that has been in the NHL, has proven he can play in the NHL. What if I told you that? Would it make a difference? Because here's what happened.
Okay.
They went and acquired Alexander Tessier. Mm-hmm. He was a second-round pick. He's 24 years old. He's an established NHL player. So now that second-round pick, if we're playing this game of second-round picks,
it's him.
It's him.
Yeah. That's fine. Okay.
And,
I like that.
You know, and look, at Kevin Hayes, it's no secret that this year coming into this season, you have Robert Thomas as a centerman, Braden Shen, Oscar Sundqvist when he's healthy again, and you're hoping that you have Dalibor Dvorsky or Tessier. He's also can play center and wing.
Yeah.
So now you're blocking guys. You have a veteran forward that is blocking some of the youth coming in. And they said, well, just move them to the wing. Okay, so now you're blocking a wing position too. So you had to make a move for your roster, and you wanted to get rid of some salary. And I think that Doug Armstrong, I don't know if he knowingly did this. I just did a little research that second-round pick that he lost, which, by the way, he can still get that back in a future trade. But that second-round pick turns into a 24-year-old player now that's got lots of runway ahead of him and has already established himself in the NHL.
It's a good way to look at it. So, what do you guys think now? Cap space has been freed. Do you think that the Pavel Buchnevich contract extension is a formality, or do you still think that Doug Armstrong lets this thing play out?
I think it's a formality based on the way everyone surrounding the deal is talking about it.
How much?
Yeah, so...
Because you have, what is it, $15 million in cap space right now?
$15 million cap space. He's not going to get paid like
but 8?
Even if it's 8, the only thing I don't like is 8 years. If it's 8 years, $8 million, I'm just not happy with that deal. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm thrilled with Pavel Buchnevich for the next 5 years.
Well, what else are you going to use the money on? Where else could you find value that could help this team next year, other than re-signing Pavel Buchnevich, which would make him a happier player, I'm sure, and kind of solidify some things for this roster?
So I agree, like, where? Okay, fine. But what if there isn't that player right now? Is there a rule stating that the Blues can't float around with $7 or $8 million in cap space? Like, they've been a cap team for the last X amount of years, but they've also been a team that's been trying to compete. Like 2019, 2020, like, they were a team that's right there wanting, like, they're not a contender right now. So if the ownership wants to save $7 or $8 million this year, are we really angry? Because Tom Stillman and his group have spent to the cap every single year that they've owned the team. And I'm not saying that's the strategy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But even if you sign Booch for $7 or $8 million, you still have $7 million left. You're still probably trying to find another center iceman somewhere, and it might be another $2.5 million player. I think that's kind of where we're at.
Well, the other thing is, too, and we're getting a lot of pushback, whether it's in the snake pit or on the text line, about kind of our viewpoints on this second-round pick that's given up for Kevin Hayes. And one of the consistent, like, messages that's coming in is, well, Army keeps making all of these mistakes. He keeps signing these players to long-term deals, and he can't get out of them, a la Torrey Krug. So you want him to make potential. I'm not saying Buchnevich is a mistake, right? But let's just take anybody, any free agent, give him a long-term deal, and then soak up that cap space again. I think making the right deal for the right player is what the Army needs to do next. And I realize that is a duh statement. But if you think back to all of the times that he went to the cap, it made sure that they spent to the cap, you have to give up term with that. It's not just the cap space, it's the term. It's a 6-year deal, the 7-year deal, the 8-year deal. What is wrong in a retool or it's a retool, it's not a rebuild. What's wrong in a retool to find a couple of guys on 1 or 2-year deals so you don't lock somebody up long term that's going to be the next Torrey Krug for you and not give you the production that matches the contract? And also, by the way, block some of these other guys that are coming up.
Yeah,
you got a good young stable of players that I think are going to make a huge difference over the next 2-3 years.
Would it make sense, or could you look at it or view it as if Alexandre Texier does a fantastic job, that you essentially traded him and a second-round pick for that? Like, does that
you could? If you want to equate it,
if you want to make yourself feel better, if he comes and does a fantastic job, much better than what Kevin Hayes did this past season, it's an upgrade at the position, and you lost a second-round pick for it, but if you wanted to tie those two things together in that way.
You could, absolutely. And look, just because Army didn't make headlines with the signing today where he ended up paying completely too much for a player or giving a player too many years, it doesn't mean he's not going to have something done tomorrow or even the day after that. Like, some of these deals take a little bit of time. Sometimes there's guys that think they're top-notch players. They think they're big free agent, and they're still sitting there on day 2 and day 3, and all of a sudden they're willing to take less term, less money, and you can sometimes find that player you want then. And some of these restricted free agents that are out there too that have been had their qualifying offer on certain teams. Right now, the Blues have seen all the players that got their qualifying offer that didn't accept it right away, which means they're looking for a bigger deal from that team, or there's current negotiations going on. You can bet that Army and the front office and the group of scouts, they're going through that book. They're trying to find that player that maybe there's an offer sheet. Army doesn't say things like that ever. And this year he's said it on numerous occasions about the offer sheet. So what if that comes about now? You know?
Going back to the second-round pick thing, the Blues have had 7 second-round picks since 2014. I'm going to read off who these, and not counting this past draft, not counting this past weekend. Nikita Alexandrov, Scott Perunovich, Jordan Kyrou, Evan Fitzpatrick, Vince Dunn, Ivan Barbashev, Maxim Letinov.
So 50%.
Yeah, so some really good players and some guys.
So they're 500 on second-round picks.
Sure. And Alex in the Snake Pit, he says that's not what the Texier deal was. You had to give up something. Okay, fine. That's fine.
4th-round pick.
Yeah, you gave up a 4th round. Okay. My point is,
we're hyper-focusing.
This is not the NFL draft,
right? Not only that, and even if it was, I mean, how many second-round picks don't pan out there? To your point,
but at least
bringing up the Blues,
the second-round pick will be playing that year.
But
like, you're looking at a 3 to 4 year, process usually for these hockey players to make it to being on your roster.
Let me point out this too, and I get Alex's point from the Snake Pit. I do. It's well made on the Texier deal, but in that same vein, it's not like you're not getting anything in return for getting rid of Kevin Hayes. Like, we're focused on, you didn't get anything. Plus, no, you did. You freed up the cap space. Was it a mistake? Yes. Hard stop. Was the Kevin Hayes trade a mistake? Yes. Period. Done. What are you going to do about it? He got out of it. So he got something. Army got something in return, too. He freed up the cap space. Now we'll see what he does with it. All right.
101 ESPN breaking news alert.
Did Steiner give you that contract?
No, Steiner, we're still negotiating. Some of the best deals are not done on day one. Anthony
very
said
true.
that.
So a documentary was about the day after tomorrow.
There you go. All right, John, the NHL announces that as of July 10th, so coming up, Joel Quenneville, Stan Bowman, and Al McIsaac are eligible to seek employment in the NHL.
Really?
So Joel Quenneville has entered the chat when it comes to head coaching positions. I don't think you'll see the Blues make any kind of a move or whatever, but I'm anxious to see if there's a team out there that literally just fire their coach to hire Joel Quenneville. Because all the Columbus Blue Jackets, I believe, are the only team that still are in search of a head coach.
Yeah.
So just a little wrench that's been thrown in here to what's coming up, because I remember the Montreal Canadiens when Claude Julien was fired from Boston. Mark Bergevin fired his coach right on the spot and hired Claude Julien to come in. It wasn't lack of performance, wasn't just because he thought Claude Julien was a better coach.
Sure.
So I wonder if there's a team out there right now that's like, okay, well, we got a pretty good coach, but sorry, you're gone.
If I'm City SC, I'm hiring him.
You think that translates?
No, Joel
I've seen a
Quenneville-
documentary before where a football coach got it done at the football level.
That'd actually be a docu-series.
A docu-series. It was
Anthony, I
incredible.
don't know how that would work out. Joel Quenneville runs pretty hard practices, so.
I think you're used to it.
Well, maybe he'll get rid of some of these players that don't want to be here. Take the Cardinals model, which is if you want to play here, you're automatically on the team.
Or if you like deer hunting, you might sign here.
Right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Should Nolan Gorman get the Jordan Walker treatment? That's next on 101 ESPN. So Nolan Gorman has he's been Kiefer struggling. Jamie ruined him by taking him all the time in the bet the board.
I broke him.
You just had to bring every last hit out of him before he went into a slump. Since June 5th, according to Cardinals Talk on Twitter at @TheRedBird_way, 21 games for Nolan Gorman, an 81 batting average, 6 hits, 2 ding-dong Johnsons, 5 ribbies, 4 runs, 34 strikeouts. Should Nolan Gorman receive the Jordan Walker treatment in that he should be sent down? Young player, he gets sent down. Jordan Walker does. Why not send Nolan Gorman down too? I don't feel this way, but I'm interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, I think these are two different situations. Nolan Gorman, you may not like the way he's playing right now, but he's established himself as an everyday Major League player. He's in a slump, but he's not the only one. Look around Major League Baseball. You can find guys on every team that are going through something similar to Nolan Gorman.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, he's striking out the most. I think he's got the highest strikeouts in all of the National League.
Well, it has to be somebody.
You're right.
There has to be a number one.
Has to be a number one.
Yeah.
But he's also, 25 years old now?
Yeah.
Gorman? And Walker just turned 22.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big difference.
A little different. when it comes
Walker
to
never really
development.
played AAA. He kind of leapfrogged that into the majors, and he had, some good play, some bad play. Whereas Gorman was really good at AAA. In fact, was one of the best AAA players, and so it was time for him to make that jump. Do you pull him out of the lineup for a little bit and maybe try to get things back in order? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you just sit him on the bench for a week and have him work on some things with the hitting coach and whatever he needs to do. But I don't think a trip to Memphis is necessarily like what's required right now.
I think this is what they signed up for. So you expected Nolan Gorman to feast or famine. He was either going to hit home runs or he's going to strike out. And I think that the Cardinals and Major League Baseball is okay with that, that process, either home runs or strikeouts. I think that that's kind of the mindset and the mold that this sport has gone. And so with Jordan Walker, I agree. Jamie, you talked about him hitting the ball on the ground, often chasing sliders away, was unable to really figure out what pitches were in his strike zone and when to swing at those pitches and when not to when they were not in his strike zone. And so he needed to reset and get some things figured out, and I'm okay with that. Nolan Gorman, you're going to deal with it because you have accepted that this is who this player is. Mm-hmm. He's going to hit for power. He's not going to hit for average. He's going to strike out and probably strike out a lot. And I think the Cardinals have accepted that, and they're okay with that. And so, no, you let him play.
Yeah. And
deal with it. And hope that he goes on a streak where he has, 10 home runs in the month of July. And you deal with it.
This is part of being a big leaguer. You got to figure it out. Jordan Walker, like you said, Jamie, Jordan Walker's 22. Nolan Gorman's 25. Nolan Gorman did all he needed
24.
to do. 24. Okay, he did, but he did everything he needed to do at the AAA level. You got to figure it out at the big league level. And you, as the Cardinals coaching staff, have got to figure out what's going to unlock him. But
do they? Because this is what he is. Like I think when they sat down and looked at the entire roster, they said this guy is hit or miss. Mm-hmm. And we're okay with it. They expect Kyle Schwarber. We're okay with him striking out.
Who also goes in the slumps.
There you go. And so they're okay with it because they know when it's good, it's really good.
Yes.
But when it's bad, it's also really bad. So I don't think that they have an issue with it because they expected this. They didn't expect Jordan Walker to not perform at the level that they needed him to. So that's why he got sent down. But Nolan Gorman, you expected this type of play from him.
Plus, Nolan Gorman could also stink and run into 10 in a week.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a lot, but you know what I'm saying. He could stink for a month and still run into 10 for a month. I mean, that's...
He stunk the last... how many games? 15?
He has not been great.
No.
He was not great in June.
No.
He also had a stretch before that
where he was on fire.
This is part of it. Matt Holliday got into slumps. Albert got into slumps. As an angel.
Maybe not like this.
But look, you're gonna have to figure it out. What got me right? We used to talk to Matt Holliday all the time about, hey, what did you used to do when you were in slumps, or what did you used to do when you're tearing the cover off the ball. He said he used to take meticulous notes.
Notebook.
This is how I feel right now. As I'm hitting well, this is what I'm doing. This is my routine. This is what I'm looking for. This is how I'm preparing. So that when he did get in a slump, he would look back and say, oh, all right, now I can work my way out of it. But this is Major League Baseball. This is a marathon. He stunk in June. Doesn't mean he won't have a fantastic July when it's all said and done.
We're going to text from the 618. Are you guys okay with a Gorman trade if it's for the right pitcher?
Yeah. Give me
at the beginning of the year. In the offseason.
Give me that Crochet guy.
Honestly, if it's a young stud pitcher, I'm going to take the young stud pitcher over most of the hitters. That's just kind of where I'm at.
Are you going to get that young stud pitcher now for a Nolan Gorman? One for one?
No.
Not in 1 for 1, no.
Would you have gotten it before the season started?
I don't know.
You'd have been closer to it, I think.
Probably. But
you would have had to give up less. Now, you got to give Nolan Gorman plus.
We'll give him Nolan Gorman and Paul Goldschmidt.
It's a good deal. Paul Goldschmidt is a borderline Hall of Famer.
Well, I don't think you want to do that.
I'd make that deal.
With the Cardinals?
To get a pitcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fine, Jamie.
Where?
The pitching hasn't been the problem, Jamie.
Yeah, they're starting.
Well, you know what, guys? Contrary to popular belief, I'm going to go get more pitching.
Didn't you see Gordon Graceffo?
They always say there's too much of pitching sometimes. Sometimes you have too much pitching. That's what they always say.
Wait, they ever say that?
The Blues are building a big blue line for the future. They had a nice draft over the weekend. We'll talk about that. You'll hear some of what Doug Armstrong talked about with the draft. That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals split with the Cincinnati Reds over the weekend. A 4-game series. The Cards did win yesterday 2-0. They have today off, but they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow. First pitch is at 5:40. City SC announced that Bradley Cardinal is out as the head coach after losing 4-3 to Vancouver. We talked a little bit about that and what's trending. If you missed that or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page, and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Over the weekend, the Blues drafted 9 players. Adam Juracek, 16th overall with their first pick. They also traded Kevin Hayes to Pittsburgh for a 2025 second-round pick, and they get future considerations back. They also signed Kasperi Kapanen to a 1-year, $1 million deal. The Blues are building a big blue line for the future, and we're going to talk about that next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
I do believe that we take the best player available. It just happened to be how it was falling for us, and that was a good thing. Our depth charts, if you look at those picks that we have a first-round pick on the right side of defense, a first-round pick on the left side of defense, a first-round pick at center ice and Dvorsky, a first-round pick with Snuggerud on the right side, and a first-round pick on the left side with Bolduc. So, I think we're trying to build that depth back up. And we're excited not only for those players, but the rest of the players. As I said, we're excited about all our picks, but having 10 picks in the first 3 rounds the last 2 years is quite a bit when you look around the league, and we're excited for that.
That was Doug Armstrong, of course, the Blues general manager and president of hockey operations, talking about his draft. Jamie, certainly it seems like this team's building for the future when they load up on defensemen that, as you would call them, are oak trees.
Yeah.
But your overall sense of what Army and Steiner wanted to accomplish after looking at the picks, what do you think that was?
Well, for me, I think it's just focusing on the core of your team. This is one of the things that the Blues have an early lead on is they've built the goaltending. They have it. In Joel Hofer and in Jordan Binnington, they have the goaltending. You've got a top-tier defenseman in Colton Parayko, who is one of the best shutdown guys in the NHL. The rest of your decor, Justin Falk had an off season last year. The year before, he had a very good season. So you're wondering if you're the Blues, hopefully you get that, the uninjured version of Justin Falk back for next season. Torrey Krug and Nick Leddy. Nick Leddy proved last year that he was very good alongside Colton Parayko. But what the Blues have identified is that's probably their area of weakness.
Yeah.
And we talk about the amount of goals the year before. Craig Berube, before he was let go, his number one thing to identify was tightening up the defensive zone, clogging up the middle of the ice, not giving up those opportunities. So obviously you're recognizing a deficiency within your team, and I think that the deficiency was defensive hockey. Mm-hmm. And so you're adding some bigger guys on the blue line now. None of these guys are ferocious. It's not like you're going to look out there and you've got a Nikita Zadorov or a Zdeno Chara, but that can come with time. These are young men. This is why draft picks, it's vital that you let them develop, because when you look at Adam Juracek, he's, good-sized guy, but he's still very thin. He's 18 years old. He's got some growing to do. He's got some weight to put on. He's got some muscle to add on to that. So you give him a couple of years, give him 2-3 years down the road, and now you've got a guy that skates as well as he does, can defend as well as he does, and he's got some length out there. Like Colton Parayko is a big guy. He takes up a lot of ice, and I think that that's what's becoming more needed now in the NHL is not just big guys, but guys that skate well and can close out plays in a hurry, can take away time and space. And it's just physiologically, it's harder when you're a smaller guy because you have to travel twice the distance sometimes to get to gap up on that player. Whereas Colton Parayko he's one stride away from being able to put a stick on somebody almost anywhere in the defensive zone.
Yeah.
Whereas Torrey Krug is probably 3 strides. It's just a matter. It is what it is. And when you're giving up time and space in the defensive zone, that's when teams can generate that offensive zone possession time. And that's when you give up scoring chances. That's when you get tired. That's when you get running around. So, yes, the taller, rangier defensemen that can take away time and space are certainly valuable.
Is it the fact that they went for 3 defensemen in their first 3 picks, is that kind of a signal, a sign of where the Blues are headed or what they need to do, where they're trying to get better at? We talked about it with the hiring of Claude Julien, him being his team's playing really, really well on the defensive end. Is that something that the Blues are aiming towards for the future?
Yeah, we were just talking about it. So, yeah, that's kind of what they're doing is they're addressing their biggest need right now where they think their biggest flaw is. And you also look at the forwards that they've drafted or acquired. So you've got, Jake Neighbors is a young guy that's going to play in your top 6. Zach Bolduc, you're hoping he's a top 6 player. Snuggerud's a top 6. Dvorsky's a top 6. Zach Dean's a middle 6 to bottom 6. Like, those are 5 guys. Now, you've kind of addressed the forward needs. So now it's time to take care of the back end.
So what I meant was the hopes is by the time those contracts that we've been talking about for the last 2-3 weeks, months, those guys that are on the roster now, by the time those contracts are expired, you're hoping that these guys are ready to step in and play big minutes and play that role.
Yeah, you are. The one contract here that to me is an outlier that doesn't matter is the Colton Parayko.
Correct.
He's got so much time left. That's fine. He's not going anywhere.
The other
he
3
shouldn't
guys,
be going anywhere.
Yeah.
When you look at Nick Leddy, he's got 2 years left on his deal. So what does it look like after 2 years? Does he come back for the Blues again? You're hoping you don't need a Nick Leddy at that point. You're hoping that you found a player that can take that spot. Torrey Krug and Justin Falk have 3 years left, including this season coming up. So again, we just talked about the timeline for some of these guys.
Right.
It's literally like 2 years for some that have already been drafted that are developing right now, and it's 3 for others, and it might even be 4 years, depending on where you're at. So yeah, you're hoping that the younger guys coming up fill in that void, that gap when the expiring contracts are done here in St. Louis. And just to drag it over to the Cardinals, and this is why drafting the right players and developing the players is so essential, because the Cardinals pitching, we talked about after that wave, they went through all their pitching and they went to drafting hitters. We got to get some bats, get some positional players.
Yeah.
And then they went back to trying to draft, but there's been a gap in between that. And they tried with Dakota Hudson, they tried with some of those guys to fill the gaps, but they weren't the right players ultimately. And I think this is where Doug Armstrong's trying to avoid that by drafting so many that percentages would tell you hopefully more of those guys will hit than not as far as players. And so using up those high draft picks to pick a position that is so vital to the success of teams now, I like this strategy.
Jamie, I'm going to ask you a question that maybe it's just a fluke, but I find it interesting. So we know about the connections to the Sweden-born players last year.
Yep.
This year, the Blues selected 3 of the top 5 Czech players. 13 Czechs overall, but 3 of the top 5 were Czechs. So is there any reason for that, or just?
I think last year Steiner had a heavy influence. He watched a lot of these players, and it's no fluke that a lot of the Swedish players that are coming up, they are a lot of what you're looking for now, especially defenseman-wise. They skate so well. They move the puck well. They can join the offense. A little more physicality in the Swedish game in the last 5 to 6 years. And as far as Czech players this year, like we talked about Fischer, he's a Czech player, but his dad, he was born in Detroit, I believe. Or I don't know if he was born in Detroit, but he lived in Detroit. So he's not really a Czech guy.
Sure.
But this is, you're drafting the best players that are available. The one part of the Blues roster right now that I think ultimately needs the most work, and I think Army's addressed a lot of this with draft picks and whatnot. If I'm Army or Steiner, both of them, and I'm looking to add via free agency, if I'm not going to kick the doors down and hammer out a star deal to somebody, I'm going to sign a couple of real jerks. I mean it. Like, I saw Ryan Lomberg got picked up by the Calgary Flames. 1-year deal, $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes playing against that guy.
Yeah.
He is a pain in the you-know-where. The Blues need a couple of those guys. And they need a couple of those guys specifically to help with some of these young guys coming in, too. Because those young guys need to play with a certain freedom out there. And if they're getting their heads bashed in every time, and then, we got Schenner. Schenner's probably tired of being the only guy that's doing this.
Right.
Like, you need a couple other guys that, even if you're not going to respond by challenging the other team, you need a couple of guys in your lineup that can return the favor of the physicality. That people are sitting there, like when you're lined up for your shift, you're like, ugh, I don't want to play this guy. He always hits me, and he slashes me, and he cross-checks me, and he's always chirping me. Like, for me, I'd spend a couple million on getting those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Two-part question here. One comes from the 314. Why spend a first-round pick on a guy with a very recent knee surgery? And then my question is, were you surprised the Blues didn't trade up when Minnesota traded up for Phillies pick to get Zeev Boyum?
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't trade up. I mean, teams have to be willing to trade with you, too. Mm-hmm. They have to be willing to trade down. Yeah. And in the NHL, it's very rare that you see that. The NFL, you see it all the time because certain teams need certain positions. Yep. And well, there's nobody in between Team A and Team B that's going to draft this guy, so let's swap picks and, whatever. You don't see that very often in the NHL. There's a couple this year, but I wasn't really surprised about that. And as far as the knee surgery goes, yeah, I can't lie. It's a little concerning. It always is whenever you draft a player that's had a substantial injury. But I look at it this way, too. One, he's young. And young players tend to recover a lot faster. And so hopefully the surgery has gone well and he can rehab properly and continue to develop. But, yeah, there's always a little concern when you got a guy that's had an injury. You just don't want to see it, be a reoccurring thing.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. There is one rotation in baseball that it would be great if the Cardinals can emulate it, even with the pitching success that they've had. So how do they get there? We'll tell you which rotation would be great and how the Cardinals get there next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 at ESPN with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andrew Marsh came up with this idea over the weekend after watching, I think you were watching the Phillies game.
No, I was just literally talking with my roommate. And we were like...
You were talking to your roommate who was watching the Phillies game on his phone. You didn't see him. And then you thought, hey, how do the Cardinals build a Phillies-esque rotation, since this Phillies rotation might have multiple Cy Young contenders when it's all said and done?
So that's what we were talking about. He may have been watching the Phillies game on his phone or one of the million devices in our house.
He told me.
We were talking about the Cy Young
right?
race. No.
Oh, it wasn't John?
Was not John.
Because John typically watches the Phillies games on his phone.
Sure. But we were talking about the Cy Young race, and we were just discussing, who could be, some of the contenders for who's going to win the National League Cy Young. And I said, hell, I think it might be any of the 3 starting pitchers for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Right. So, how do the Cardinals build a Phillies-esque rotation?
I got it. So there's a guy named Arenado. He'll be a free agent coming up this. Well, no, wait, that was
last
year.
Yeah.
He's not even one of the guys that I highlighted.
Well, he would be second on your team in ERA if you got him right now.
Second, if he's not first I don't want it.
Really?
If you ain't first, you're last.
For that kind of money, if he's not first on this team,
Well,
come on.
you know what? You might have a point there.
So Nola was selected in the first round, 7th overall in the 2014 MLB draft. So that is how they acquired Aaron Nola, who has been in the past their ace. This isn't anything new. You have to draft and develop your aces. Zach Wheeler was signed to a big contract, so that one's easy as well. Now, Marsh, I know you have the other details on guys like Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, Ranger Suarez was an international draft pick in 2012, and then Christopher Sanchez, also another international free agent. He was signed with the Rays in 2013, and the Phillies picked him up in 2019. But he came from the Rays, so you know that there was something there.
Yeah, big time. I'm surprised they let him go. The Cardinals, I think, from an international market standpoint, could do a much better job. I think this is an area. It has been an area of weakness for 10-plus years now.
I was going to say, who's the last signing that they've had? Was it Oscar Tavares? Is that the last one of note?
Yeah. I mean, Aledmus Diaz, if you want to count him.
I like the Aledmus Diaz.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah.
He's pretty good at shortstop for a season.
You like him more than Mason Wynn?
Nah.
There you go.
Nah.
Well, one's a shortstop. Aledmus Diaz tried to play shortstop.
Wow.
He did okay. He did okay.
He did fine. He did fast lane fine. Yeah. He could hit a little. I'll give him that. And you know what? He's still in the league, so he's carved out something for himself. But I think the international market has been a major point of weakness for the Cardinals. I think they've drafted okay. You're looking at guys right now, whether it's, I know Gorman's in a funk right now, but Gorman's at the big league level. Donovan's at the big league level. When Edman comes back, he's a guy that they drafted and developed. Ivan Herrera was somebody they drafted and developed. They've actually done okay from, Lars Nootbaar. But from an international standpoint, I think this has been a major issue for them, dating back to when they passed up on Luis Robert. As the story goes, the White Sox and the Cardinals were the last teams in the running for Luis Robert. And Bill DeWitt did not think giving that much money to a player that really hasn't done anything was that wise. Okay, fair enough. Maybe he's done that before and it's worked out. But in this case with Luis Robert turned out to be, despite the injuries, a really good player. I wonder if that's part of the issue. Hey, we're not going to spend big on the international market because we haven't seen these players before. If that's the case, they're missing out on a pretty good opportunity to add international studs to your roster.
Isn't this an area where we keep looking for something for Yachty to do within this organization?
Herrera, by the way, was an international prospect.
But isn't this something that you think would be a natural fit for Yachty or Molina? Because he's still involved in all those, the national team and doing all that stuff. And I'm sure he sees a number of players. Why would he not be tasked with saying, hey, Yachty, I understand you don't want to come and be a bench coach, or you don't want to do this. You don't want to be every day. Find us the next guy. Like, find us the guy. Like, you see enough players. You've known for your career what good players look like and what they don't.
Yeah.
Find us the guy, and we'll trust you, and we'll drop a bunch of cash down on this player to improve our team.
Sure.
Like, I don't know why they don't use that kind of a resource. Maybe Yachty doesn't want to do it.
I don't know.
Maybe
Right.
he just wants one job and one job only.
But, Carey, even by accident. Okay, and what I mean by that is if I'm coaching, a team in Canada or the Canadian national baseball team, and I'm playing against all these other teams, by default, I'm going to see a guy that's like, who the hell is that guy? Oh, he's from Puerto Rico. He's from, Guam. He's from wherever the heck it is. Be like, okay.
And who's to say that he hasn't done that and the Cardinals didn't do anything about it?
Well,
because I can relate that to the University of Illinois. Hey, you should sign this guy. You should recruit this guy. You should offer this guy a scholarship. No, we're not going to. Yeah, that you okay, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Don't worry about it. Now, when he runs for 250 yards on you, I'm just going to smile and be like, good job, kid.
Who was the last one? No. Can't.
Don't worry about
That's
it.
somebody back in the day.
No, it's just I have reached out. I mean,
You've reached out to your alma mater, and they're
I got a kid that's at the University of Oregon that hey, you might want to recruit him. No, you don't. Okay, cool.
Well, it's not like he's ready to play offensive line for one of the top teams in the nation.
He's probably going to start at D-line this
this
fall.
Is he D-line?
Yeah.
Wasn't he offensive line?
He was both. He was better at the offensive line. He's a 4-star D lineman.
Don't need him.
College coaches told me if he wants to play O-line, he'd probably be a 5-star. He didn't want to play O-line.
Wow.
He's that good.
Holy smokes.
Don't worry about it.
And then,
do your thing.
And then you're a young man who's starting on Maryland's O-line.
Yep.
Yeah.
His coaching staff wasn't there. But, yeah, it happens. So there's a level of frustration there where, hey, you should recruit this kid, or you should look at this guy, this player, this particular, player X. And if that organization is like,
There's a stubbornness to it.
There's a level of frustration. So I don't know if that's what took place or if that's what's taking place. Or maybe Yachty just doesn't want to do that, and maybe the Cardinals don't have, I was going to say the resources, but I believe they have the resources.
I don't think so. Hey, you would think. All right, we have your chance right now to score a pair of tickets to see Def Leppard and Journey with Cheap Trick this Saturday, July 6th at Busch Stadium. Tickets for Def Leppard, Journey, and Cheap Trick at Busch are on sale right now. Or you could text in to the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646 for your chance to win the free tickets to the show. I'll give you the trivia question here in a second, and you can get all the concert details now at 101ESPN.com. Since we were just talking about Carey and his time at Illinois, who was the program that Carey no-called, no-showed? Which football program, historic program, did Carey no-call and no-show on a recruiting trip once? If you have the correct answer, text in 314-399-9646. You'll have an opportunity to go see Journey, Cheap Trick this Saturday, and Def Leppard, of course, this Saturday at Busch Stadium, July 6th. We've got a returning Gauntlet contender.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Way to go, guys.
Carey lost in hockey. I lost in hockey.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you'll get hockey today.
Maybe you'll get hockey.
Oh, is this our buddy?
Yeah.
It's Donnie.
Donnie, one of the nicest human beings ever.
Oh, boy.
Yep. All right, Donnie, in the Gauntlet, round 3 next. Don't want to win ESPN. Auto Centers Nissan throughout the month of July, since it's the month of July right now, they've got tremendous deals going on. They've got great deals, 2.9% for 36 months on the 2024 Nissan Kick. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit bigger, check out the Nissan Pathfinders. That's what we're driving right now in the Stalter household, or a Nissan Rogue. They've got great deals. I talked to you about the rates that they have, plus $500 in Nissan CR bonus cash, as well as $1,000 off for the 4th of July bonus cash. It's all available at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. But on top of all the great deals that they have, and they still got hail sale discounts ranging from $10,000 off to all the way up to $20,000 off hail vehicles. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they always do a couple of things. One, they've got over 700 vehicles all in one location, all out in Herculaneum. You don't have to drive around to different dealerships with under the same umbrella. No, at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they got them all there out in Herculaneum. But you also get the 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you feel like you want something else, maybe you decided I want the different make, the different color. Great, bring it back within 30 days, and they'll give you a refund, set you up with something else. Complimentary lifetime warranty, complimentary one-year maintenance as well. All courtesy of Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. Tell them Stalter sent you. Check them out online, autocentersnissan.com.
Four warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. 401, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Here's Jamie Rivers.
Yeah, just wanted to give a quick shout out before we get to the Gauntlet here to Michael and Katie, who are serving in the Navy, serving the country here. They've been in Guam for like the last year and a half.
Oh, wow.
They're back home here now to spend some family time. Was with them at the lake this weekend. This great people. So thank you for your service, and good to have you back for a while.
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely. Thank you for your service, no doubt. All right, so Donnie is now up for round 3 in the Gauntlet. He got past Carey, he got past me, so he'll take on either Andrew Marsh or Jamie today. Donnie, how was your weekend?
It was good. How was your guys'?
It was very good. Now, did you study everything ever, just in case you got random?
That was the plan, but didn't get around to it.
All right, fair enough. Yeah. Well, you know what? You did well against Carey and I. Who are you going to take today? Is it going to be Marsh or Jamie?
I'm going to take Jamie on, just because he's the one that beat me 2 years ago.
So you waited for your revenge moment, you picked a time where, I'll be honest, Jamie is working on about 24 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, probably.
Still probably hammered from the weekend. So
It's a good weekend.
It's a good time to be taking on Jamie Rivers, Donnie. So we'll send him to the cone of silence. Why don't you go ahead and tell Andrew Marsh to spin that wheel?
Marsh, you spin that wheel.
All right, now you got hockey against Carey and I, and you did well. Do you want hockey or no?
I'll take hockey or random. I do not want football or baseball.
Is it hockey again?
Barely.
Yeah.
It's hockey
Barely.
again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Dave, Donnie, you wanted hockey? Let's go here. You got the beast in Jamie. You never know, though. Sometimes the questions, the way, certain time frames, kind of lands in our blind spots. So,
Have we had a contestant get the same category 3 times in a row?
I'm sure we have. I don't think it's ever happened 4 times in a row.
Ooh.
Yeah. It is Canada Day, though, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. The Blue Jays are playing right
Probably
now.
gonna need a day as well.
Is it? Is today the day?
Yep, today.
He shows up. It just gets that
I
money.
don't even know he has to show
You don't
up.
have to
They
show
just send
up
it to
now.
him.
Yeah. All right. Donnie, you know how this works, but for those that don't, Donnie and Jamie are going to get the same 4 hockey-related questions today. Each question is worth 2 points, unless Donnie or Jamie ask for the options. If they ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready, Donnie?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Question 1. After 16 seasons, Steven Stamkos has left the Lightning for Nashville. How many times has Stamkos won the Hart Trophy as league MVP?
Okay, I know he won the Cup twice. Hart Trophy. I'm going to go 3. Final answer.
Okay.
Question number 2. Who led the 23-24 Blues in plus minus with a plus 14 rating?
Crap. Oh, plus minus, plus 14. Feel like, let's go Folk. No, options, please, options.
Is it Robert Thomas, Colton Parayko, or Nick Leddy?
Feel like, let's go Parayko. Final answer.
Question number 3. The Blackhawks last hoisted the Stanley Cup in 2015. How many games did Chicago's opponent, Tampa Bay, win in that Stanley Cup final?
I don't believe it was a sweep. Let's go 2. Final answer.
All right, Donnie, last question. St. Louis will host Minnesota in next season's home opener at Enterprise Center, but what is the name of the Wilds Arena?
Oh, my goodness gracious. I saw this on NHL 24 earlier. Oh, dang it. Options, please. I know I'll hear it.
All right. XL Energy Center, Amelia Arena, or Bridgestone Arena?
XL Energy. First answer. Final answer.
All right. Let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence.
While we're waiting for Jamie, can I do a shout-out to my nephew who's listened in every day for me?
Of course, yeah.
So this is a shout-out to my nephew, Henry. Love you, bud, and appreciate you listening in every day.
There you go. That is nice.
Appreciate you, Henry.
Absolutely. All right, Jamie's going to make his way back from the Cone of Silence here.
All right.
He's putting in his earbuds.
How'd my guy Donnie do?
Well, Carey, why don't you go ahead and tell him?
Jamie, pack a lunch.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very promising.
How was the Cone of Silence? Ryder in there?
Yeah, we had quite a little party going on there for a little bit. Ryder's in there, and yeah, it's good to have him back. He's got that fresh, clean haircut.
Yeah, Ryder's been rocking a bit of a longer do, and he came in today, and we didn't know who the hell he was.
At all.
Carey and I were like,
his back to me. Who the hell is this?
Yeah.
It took Carey and I a minute to process.
Yeah.
Like, who is this? And why is he in our office?
Fresh new cut from Mike Ryder. All right, Jamie.
Yeah.
Your category today is hockey.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Donnie got hockey three straight times.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I hope so.
Question 1. After 16 seasons, Steven Stamkos has left the Lightning for Nashville.
Yeah.
How many times has Stamkos won the Hart Trophy as league MVP?
I'm not good at these things. Options.
0. Once, twice.
I'm going to say 0. Final answer.
Question number 2. Who led the 23-24 Blues in plus minus with a plus 14 rating?
23. The 22-23?
23-24.
23-24 plus 14. Gotta be Robert Thomas, right?
We're asking you the questions.
Yeah. God, I'm blanking out right now.
Give us a blanking answer.
I know. Robert Thomas, final answer.
Question number 3. The Blackhawks last hoisted the Stanley Cup in 2015. How many games did Chicago's opponent, Tampa Bay, win in that Stanley Cup final?
Options.
1, 2, or 3?
That's great. That's really good stuff right there. Let's meet in the middle. B, final answer.
That would be 2.
Yeah, 2.
All right. St. Louis will host Minnesota in next season's home opener at Enterprise Center. But what is the name of the Wilds Arena?
The Xcel Energy Center. Final answer.
Let's go over these.
Those are not great.
St. Louis will host Minnesota in next season's home opener at Enterprise Center. But what is the name of the Wilds Arena? Donnie, you said Xcel Energy Center.
Oh, gosh.
Jamie, you said Xcel Energy Center. Marsh, correct answer is?
It is the Xcel Energy Center.
But Donnie needed the options. So we got a 2-1 lead for Jamie Rivers. The Blackhawks last hoisted the Stanley Cup in 2015. How many games did Chicago's opponent, Tampa Bay, win in that Stanley Cup final? Donnie, you said 2. Jamie, you said 2. Correct answer is 2. But Donnie didn't need the options for that one.
Come on.
So we have a 3-3 tie. Who led the 23-24 Blues in plus minus with a plus rating of 14? Donnie, you said Colton Parayko. Jamie, you said Robert Thomas. Correct answer is?
It is Nick Leddy.
Nick Leddy.
Oh, tricky Nicky.
Nick Leddy. So again, we got a 3-3 tie here. Comes down to this. After 16 seasons, Steven Stamkos has left the Lightning for Nashville.
Oh.
How many times has Stamkos won the Hart Trophy as league MVP? Donnie, without the options, said 3. That was not an option. Jamie took the options, which were 0, once, or twice. Jamie said 0. If it's 0, Jamie's going to win by 1. If it's once or twice, we're heading to a walk-off. Donnie.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Donnie, I'm sorry. It is 0. Jamie got you by 1 point today.
That last question just makes me so aggravated, but congratulations, Jamie.
Donnie, for what it's worth, I knew you knew that. Like you said it right. Once you heard the options, you knew it right away. It's just one of those, you had the radio brain fog going on. Sorry, man.
Hey, I appreciate you. I love the show, guys.
Thanks,
Good
Donnie.
job, Donnie. Take care,
we'll
bud.
see you, man. Take care. Oh, man.
Grant and Bradford are getting creative with some of these questions.
They are. This was tough. This is real time.
I was sitting there going, like, I know it's the Xcel Energy Center, but is it still? Did they change the name? Like, is it?
Well, they got real creative, in fact, because.
Listen, I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, I saw Carey's face. That's why normally I go to you first. Yeah. I said, Marshy, what's the correct name? For some reason, some weird. I'm like really good with stadiums. It's just I don't remember anything but stadium names. Whoever it was, and it's just a mistake, but they highlighted Bridgestone Arena, which is Nashville's stadium. That's why I didn't go to Carey. Yeah. I went to Marsh. Marsh knows that it is the Xcel Energy Center. So you say getting creative. Is it really that still? Ironically, they highlighted Bridgestone Arena.
Oh, that would have been a big.
Yeah.
I had you all tied.
That was Nashville.
That's Nashville's Bridgestone. Yep. Nice job, Jamie. Oof. You came in with an 8th inning save.
We appreciate it.
How about 3 hockeys in a row for Donnie?
Yeah, and Donnie. I feel bad for Donnie because I think he knew. Like I said, I think he knew that Xcel Energy question.
Well, he knew it.
It's
a good job by him, man.
Absolutely. Are the Blues falling behind in the Western Conference with this roster? We're going to get into that. We also are going to draft new Bet the Board players. Jamie won. I think it was Andy, correct?
Yeah.
Andy won because of Jamie. Nice job. Jamie, it came down to the last day. I had 2 picks because I had a postponed game mixed in. I had 2 picks. I needed Jamie to lose, and I needed to win 2, and we would have been tied. Jamie lost. I hit the over in the Yankees-Blue Jays game. I think there was like a combined 24 runs. Unfortunately, the Yankees scored 16 of them, and they won. So Jamie won. Came down again to a last day. So if you want an opportunity to draft Jamie, Carey, myself, or Andrew Marsh, text in now 314-399-9646 BTB. Or Bet the Board if you want to spell the whole thing out. But we need 4 new contestants that will have an opportunity to draft us for the month of July for Bet the Board. Are the Blues falling behind in the Western Conference with this roster? We'll answer that question next on 101 ESPN. Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have our first Bet the Board contestant right now who will draft one of us throughout the month of July. Opportunity to win a 101 ESPN prize pack. Did we pay out any of these prize packs yet?
Yeah, Anthony, of course.
I hope we did.
No, we do.
No, I'm serious because I want our winners to actually win.
Well,
don't look at Ryder. Ryder's got enough to do. He's got so much to do. We got to get somebody else involved.
I'll figure it out.
He's the guy who promised all this stuff, though.
I'll figure it out.
He didn't promise it once. Thanks, Marsh.
We used his name, though.
That's true. Yeah. All right. So we have Dylan on the line right now. What's up, Dylan?
What's going on?
Dylan, now you go by Flag Football Commish. Are you the Dylan from Lindbergh?
I sure am.
Yes. Dylan does a hell of a job running the Flag Football League that my son Killian is in, that I coach. So Dylan, shout out to you. Nice job. You also does some coaching for Lindbergh.
He runs the league you coach in?
Yes.
Dylan, there's rumor that Anthony Stalter has been videotaping some of the other teams' practices. They went 8-0, and people are wondering.
Dylan, don't say
anything. I didn't get any rumors there.
Good, Dylan. Listen, I'll get you that that payment here when I'm done. All right, Dylan. So you have the first pick for Bet the Board. This means that you're going to be associated with whoever you pick throughout the entire month. So you just follow their picks, and that's how you'll do. Do you want Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie, or me?
I think I'm going to ride with you this month.
Yes, Dylan. Excellent. All right, I'll tell you what. We win, we'll celebrate big time, okay?
Sounds good.
All right, Dylan. Good luck. Appreciate you. Thank you, and keep up the great work out at Lindbergh.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care.
You too.
Dylan does do a great job. And he's got to run. So he's like the one guy. The Lindbergh flag football in the spring is like the largest in the nation, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. And he runs it all. So he's got a lot of things to do. There's like 12 to 15 fields he's got to set up. He does a phenomenal job. All right, so Carey, Jamie, and Marsh are still available. Dylan chose me. So Dylan will have my picks throughout the month of July. All right, boys. We knew that this Blues team was going to be a retool, not a rebuild. Free agency has started, and I think it's understandable that Blues fans, despite knowing that this team probably wasn't going to go out and do what Nashville did, I think some Blues fans are disappointed. It's been a quiet start to free agency, to say the least. They traded Kevin Hayes, and they brought back Kasperi Kapanen.
Wait, Anthony.
What?
This is from the Daily Faceoff. The St. Louis Blues signed Corey Schooneman to a 1-year, $775,000 AAV contract.
Well, why that a two-way, though? It could be a two-way contract. It's a depth piece.
The old shoe man.
Well, we got to throw out this segment now. Yep. Are the Blues falling behind the Western Conference with this roster? Clearly not after signing the shoemaker. Man.
They're working.
Daily Face-Off.
Yeah.
They're working.
They are working.
Be patient. Yeah, no, same thing they say to the
Absolutely.
Cardinals fans.
Yes.
Be patient. They're working
Jamie,
on it.
When are the Blues going to sign somebody of significance?
Oh, Anthony, that's not what you're setting up with this segment, are you? Really? Really?
What? I can't. I could be snarky with the Cardinals. I can't be snarky
totally
with the Blues.
Snarky with the Blues. Just told you they're not.
Okay, fair.
So there's not the Blues aren't going to have like the, as BT used to call it, the press conference signing.
Yeah.
I don't believe so. I could be. Well, I guess if they extend Pavel Buchnevich, does that count? I don't know.
What if they bring back Perron?
Well, he signed with Ottawa today, so that's going to be tough.
Really? Son of a! I missed that.
2 years, $4 million a year. So
why does he want to go up there?
That's probably going to be a pretty good team. I don't know. Would like to have him back here.
He'll be disappointed when we get Brady.
Yeah, that would be. It'd be very disappointing. So the original question is, are the Blues falling behind in the Western Conference? If you're looking at this season coming up, maybe. But again, this is the first day of free agency. The draft just ended. Like people are like assuming like this is our roster and Kasperi Kapanen. That's the only thing we did. It's a good depth signing. Here's the way I look at it. Somebody's like, really, Jamie? They brought back Kasperi Kapanen? Okay. So you take that $1 million and go spend it on another veteran player that you need for depth. But you don't know what you're getting. You don't know if they can accept being a healthy scratch, let's say 2 out of 5 games throughout the year, like every 2 out of 5 games. you know what you have in Kasperi Kapanen. It was a depth signing. And if you have to, you can waive him. And if nobody else wants him, they'll go play in the minors for you. A lot like Mackenzie McEachern had to do last year. Like Nathan Walker started the season in the American League because you didn't really have a spot here for him, but you were paying him NHL money. So let's not get crazy. Now, are they falling behind from a standpoint of like next year, can they be contenders? I don't think they're falling behind, but other teams are, you know, they're escalating. Like the Predators today, that was a really risky day for them because I think over the next 2-3 years, probably play out pretty good. Stamkos had 40 goals last year. Marchessault had 42. Some guys put the puck in the net. Stamkos in 3 years, what's he going to look like? It's an 8-year deal. The back half of that contract could be really ugly for the Preds. Now, it won't hurt them from a salary cap standpoint, but you're still going to have the aging superstar on your team. Marchessault, I think he'll be good for 3-4 years too. What does the back end of that look like for the Predators? So there is some risk in that. But here's the way I look at it right now. Teams that I think are probably playoff guaranteed in the Western Conference. And here we are talking about playoffs, and we just finished the draft. But you got the Stars, the Canucks, the Oilers, the Kings. I think they're still going to have a good enough team to be in that mix. The Golden Knights, the Predators, the Jets, and the Avs. Those are the teams that I think are like, you look at that and you go, that's probably your 8 playoff teams. The wild cards in this are Blues, Minnesota Wild, the Kraken, who've signed some guys here. They're trying to get back into being relevant again in the Western Conference, and the Utah Hockey Club. Because they've got like a clean slate. They've got a ton of cap space. They've already signed some guys, so who knows what they are. So when you look at maybe isolate the Kings, the Predators, and the Jets as the 3 teams that you think, well, maybe they're not going to be as good as you think they might be. That's where the Blues and the Minnesota Wild and the Kraken and Utah might be able to narrow that gap and find themselves in the playoff picture. This is going to be an interesting year for the Blues because if their young guys take big steps forward, it totally shifts this. If Army's able to find a defenseman, let's say that he goes out and offer sheets or makes a trade for, that shifts the trajectory again. As it sits right now, I see the Blues being a team that's going to fight for a playoff spot, but ultimately could fall short again while they're waiting for the development of their next wave of really good players.
Yeah.
And then you go through this heartache for 2-3 years. I don't think you'll see 4 years without playoffs. But then you're going to have the next wave. You're going to have some contracts that come off the books. You're going to have some young players that are ready to take over the team as far as the scoring goes and leadership. And then you could be set up for a decade of success. And what I mean by success is being a perennial playoff team and for half of those 10 years to be a team that could be a cup contender.
Yeah. But you got to go through it first.
But you got to go through this. Yeah. And it's not going to be a decade of pain.
And it's not going to be fun either.
No,
it's not going to be fun early on.
You'll see a lot of what you saw last year of some highs and some lows.
And I'm just, right now, I'm only purely talking about it's not going to be fun for the off season because people love
splashes.
They love reading about their team. It's what they have going on right now, right? If you're a hockey fan, the off season free agency. It provides optimism. It's what we talk about with Cardinals. Cardinals fans get so frustrated because their team not doing anything, not spending. It gives you a sense of my team is trying.
So this team is next season is those younger players are going to have to take a big step.
Yeah, you have.
Bulldog, Dean, you get more from neighbors. Like you have to get that from your younger guys in order for this team to have success because you already know what the established guys, who they are, what they're capable of. But if this team wants to be one of those playoff teams, it's going to have to get a push from some younger players.
And you need more from some of your veteran guys that didn't have great years last year.
Yeah.
You know, like some of these guys looking to have I don't want to say a bounce back, but being more productive. You know, Braden Shen wasn't completely satisfied with his season last year. So he's going to look to, come back and play better. Brandon Saad wasn't thrilled with the way the season ended for him. He's going to want to come back and be relevant. I got to correct myself. I keep thinking, for whatever reason, my brain, and brain trauma is real, that Stamkos signed for 8 years. I keep thinking of the Tampa deal. He signed for 4 years, $8 million with the Predators.
Okay.
So that I have all of my numbers.
Yeah, but in your defense, you have said 8 divided by 4 is what, or 2. I mean, 8 divided by 2 is what you have said.
No, but my thought still stands because Stamkos, who knows what he's going to be.
Yeah.
But that's $8 million on your cap.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're the Blues right now, the window's not right.
Yeah.
Stamkos would have never been an option for you. I sure would have loved him in that one-timer spot on the power play. I could handle 20 power play goals from over there. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
But $8 million is a lot to pay a guy, especially when you're in this retool. Who knows what they're going to give Buchnevich? We'll find out. I can't imagine that it's going to be too long before they announce something, though.
All right, we've got our Sports Six-Pack coming up, so you get a question for us. 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Send us your question. Sports Six-Pack next.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update, driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals are off today after defeating the Cincinnati Reds yesterday 2-0. They split with the Reds over the weekend. They'll take on the Pirates tomorrow. First pitch is at 5:40. Bradley Cardinal has been let go from City SC as the club's head coach. They lost 4-3 to Vancouver. We talked a little bit about that earlier in the show and what's trending. If you missed that or anything that we've talked about today, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. The podcast is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Over the weekend at the NHL Draft, the Blues traded away Kevin Hayes to Pittsburgh for a 2020 and a 2025 second-round pick for future considerations. Kasperi Kapanen signed a one-year, $1 million deal, and the Blues, with their 9 picks, they drafted Adam Juracek, the defenseman, at 16th with that first overall pick. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next. If you have a question you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Sports Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Before we get into our first question with the Sports Six-Pack, we've got Joe on the line, and Joe's going to have an opportunity to draft one of us in the Bet the Board Challenge for the month of July. What's up, Joe?
Hey, not much, guys.
Appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. Would you like to be paired up with Andrew Marsh, Carey, or Jamie?
Andrew Marsh. He's my guy.
There you go, Marsh.
Yes.
All right. So, Marsh.
We're coming back with some vengeance this month.
Good luck.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Joe. We appreciate
you, Joe.
it.
I meant it. I was serious. That wasn't.
You typically don't say good luck without not meaning it.
I want everybody to win.
You don't, though.
Don't.
Of all of us, you don't.
There can only be one winner. I don't know if y'all know that.
Yeah.
Unless we all tie, then that's like.
No, we still get a winner. Yeah. This isn't soccer.
Oh, Anthony, on a day like today.
Well, if he didn't have so many draws, he'd probably still be coaching. Carey?
Oh, you
know what I mean, Carey?
Yeah.
Do you disagree?
I do now. I see where you are. See how you feel.
Well, you heard Lutz. If he'd have won on Saturday, he'd still have his job today.
Which just is dumb.
Just saying.
All right. Marsh, hit us.
Question number 1.
All right, we got a question from Tanisha in the Snake Pit. If you could switch lives with any coworker for a week, who would it be?
This one's easy.
Jamie Rivers.
This one's easy.
It's Jamie.
I mean, not even close. It's Andrew Marsh.
Absolutely.
No kids. I love my kids. I love my kids. I do.
Andrew Marsh.
Love them.
Yeah.
But you're talking about somebody who doesn't go to sleep until 3 a.m.
Well, neither does Marshy.
No. But for different reasons. He's not running 9 companies.
Yeah,
that's true.
He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't have multiple careers like the three of us. That's this guy.
This is true.
You
Marsh,
kidding me?
You know what?
It's Marsh
That you sold me.
or T-Bone.
I'll go Marshy.
Marshy. He's got the beard, that lovely hair flowing out the back. I know it's not.
Well, I don't think we don't become Marsh. It's just.
No, yeah, you do.
No, you do.
It's like Freaky Friday.
It's like the movie. Yeah, Freaky
All right.
Friday.
Well, Marsh.
Good luck.
Are all 3 of you going to be
Yeah,
Marshy at once?
different weeks.
All 3 of us are going to enter you at the same time.
That's right. Hope you like it.
Well, I'll be switching with somebody too.
Yeah.
Yeah, who are you going to choose?
If I had to pick between you 3?
Well, no, you don't have to do. I mean, you don't have to do us. You can do somebody else on the station.
You can enter anyone you want.
Yeah.
It's a great question. I really don't know. Maybe we'll go with Jamie. Seems like he can have a good time.
Yeah. Now, you got to be on the ice at 5 a.m. for camps.
Oh, wait, that's right.
And, I mean, you're talking about taking on everybody's lives.
There are some benefits.
I'll stick with Jamie right now. Maybe I'll change it as the day goes along. We'll see. We'll see what.
Marshy and
happens.
I have mutually injured each other at this
That's
point.
nice. That's good. You guys are a good fit for each other.
For the most part.
Good question, Tanisha.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
good.
Good question.
Yep.
Question number 2.
From the Waterboy, who is
wrong
the
with you?
sleeper quarterback we should be watching out for this season?
Michael Penix when he has an opportunity to play.
Here it comes.
goodness.
Here comes Russell Wilson from the top rope. I can feel it.
Yeah, of course.
The Steelers' gold is blinding me over here
Yeah.
on the right.
I got some gold glasses I'm gonna wear during football
my
season.
goodness gracious.
It's Monday.
Is there another one? Would you say kind of flying under the radar? Roughly.
None.
Sam Darnold, Vikings. What do you mean, no?
Hey, I'm telling you right now.
I think Darnold's going to have an okay season.
I do too. I've been saying
I'm
this.
serious.
I am too. I'm not just saying that because I'm a homer.
You are.
You are.
I am. I think he's going to have a sneaky good season. Now that doesn't look like a 12 and what doesn't look like 12 wins.
He's going to surprise.
I think the Vikings will not be in last place.
I'm
see
gonna go
that.
with Caleb Williams.
Okay.
Chicago.
Oh, Caleb Love.
Caleb Love.
Oh, yeah, you and your...
Did it again last week.
Basketball.
Did you?
Yes, he did it on Friday.
My goodness.
Play basketball.
Yeah, I know. Now.
I've changed my answer. I think I would become Piddles.
Okay.
With all that statistic knowledge within his head.
Yeah,
He's
that's
helping
good.
Jamie out with the home run derby challenge.
We got to figure that out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice
I think I would
kid.
become Piddles.
Get here early.
a good
We'll
one.
get to him early, Jamie. Give him change sides.
Who, him?
No, Piddles.
Oh,
His Piddles predicts.
Oh, you're
Piddles
gonna-
won't change sides.
What are you doing to that young man? What have you done to him? What have you done to Piddles?
What are you talking about?
Carey's going
I
to
don't like
Piddles,
where
you
you're-
can talk to us.
I don't like where you're headed with this, Carey. And you're free to do whatever you want to him. That's what he said. What did I do to him? I said, Carey, you're free to do it.
Oh, goodness.
Yikes.
Question number 3.
From the 314, is Dalibor Dvorsky really that good?
Well, we're going to find out that at the NHL level, but in junior hockey last year, yeah, he was. He was their best player in Sudbury, one of their best players, and he dominated that league. And you could say anything you want. Well, that's junior hockey. Yeah, but that's the level where he was playing at. He's allowed to be at that level.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he dominated, play so good, to me is just an indication of what's to come. And the young man, as he should, he has his sights set on making this team this year. And I think it could be a stretch, but Army's open to it. If Army's made it clear that if Dalibor Dvorsky can show that he can play in a productive role for the Blues, not just a bench warmer or an in and out of the lineup type guy, if he can actually contribute to the team, then they'll keep him here. They'll give him an opportunity to play. But yeah, I think he is that good. To me, he's one of the best forward prospects the Blues have had in a really long time.
In ever, Bob.
No, not in ever, but really long time.
We'll continue our Sports Six Pack next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking for replacement windows, please visit my friends at Window World, a preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. They are ranked #1 in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. And if you're thinking that, man, maybe you don't have the money or it's not the right time, it's absolutely the right time. And you're probably spending money right now on inefficient windows. Every month that goes by, you're spending more and more money instead of just getting those good windows that are going to keep that hot air out in the summer. They're going to keep that cold air out in the winter. Keep that money in your wallet. Window World also uses a double-strength glass. It gives it that strength that you don't find ordinarily, and it gives it that efficiency that you're wanting from your window. They also give you a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, glass breakage, and labor. And right now, Window World is offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And all you have to do is give them a call. Tell them Jamie Rivers from 101 sent you. That number, 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800, or visit windowworldstlouis.com.
Question. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Before we continue our Sports Six-Pack, let's head to Alex, who joins us for the Bet the Board draft, the continuation of it. What's up, Alex?
What's up, Stalter? How you doing?
Good, man. Appreciate you joining us. Thanks for playing. Thanks for listening. You have two options. You've got Jamie Rivers or Carey Davis for Bet the Board. Who would you like?
I'm going to go with my favorite color analyst and go Jamie.
Yes.
Jamie.
Let's
Jamie
party.
Rivers. All right, Alex, you're paired with Jamie this month. Go get him. Good luck.
Thank you, Stalter.
All right. Thanks,
Good luck
buddy.
to you guys.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Take care, buddy.
There you go. All right. So whoever calls in next, we'll get Carey.
You don't feel like being picked last at the playground when you're last?
I don't know.
Like,
I never had that happen.
I'm sure you have.
Me either, honestly.
All right, sorry.
I can't relate. Sorry, Carey.
All right.
Carey, you didn't.
I'll come back to this.
Carey, you didn't.
Yeah, were you
never
kidding?
did.
Marshy didn't either.
No, so look, only
now
2 of
I
us are
know.
professionals, but still, I mean, we're decent athletes. You know?
Yeah.
So-
Well, actually, that's not true. I remember getting picked last when I was playing with my brother and his friends. For the first few times we're playing hockey.
Yeah.
And they don't know. They look over and see this little kid that's like 4 or 5 years younger than them. And like, you know, and my brother's not going to pick me because, you know, he doesn't want to be that way. Then we played, and I was never the last pick again.
Yeah.
So,
They figured it out quickly.
oh, yeah.
There was a time when I was young, and my uncles were playing like volleyball, right? They had a pool. My grandmother had a pool. They had set up in the backyard with the volleyball, whatever. And I'm like, oh, cool, I want to play. I was like 8 or something like that. So I go out there, and they're playing, right, or they're about to play. And one of my uncle's buddies looks over, and he's like, little guy's got to get out, right? So I got out. I have thought about that moment a lot. And at one point, I want to get that same group together. You know, my uncle's probably 50, almost 60 years old, and I want to punish.
You know, spike it on some people?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
You want to punish that guy?
I want to punish him hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are we talking like Meet the Parents style?
Yes, I want that ball right in his face over and over and over again.
You never forgot that.
Yeah.
I say we line it up.
He's crying. He's like, well, why you been? I'm like, yeah, this is for 1986.
You get out of the pool, bud. You can. By the way, can I just say something really quick? Your story of,
revenge.
No, he was sick.
Oh,
the turtle,
blue heron.
and then the blue heron thing. So, on more than one occasion throughout this last weekend that just went by, Ashley and me were talking about something. We were talking about this. That there was a fish that was like came up to the surface. It was like it was dead.
Yeah.
And I look over and I go, "It's okay, hon. He was sick." And then she dropped something today. I forget what it was. She was, oh, he looks sick. Like it's a running joke now.
How crazy was that, though?
That is really crazy.
I showed you. I mean, I sent you the picture.
I couldn't believe what I was listening to.
It was crazy. Don't worry, hon. He's sick. That bird was sick. He was. Yeah, he had hours to live. Don't worry about it. All right, Marsh, go for it.
Question number 4.
All right, we get a question from the Air Comfort Service text line. Should we refrain from judging the Cards this year until after the trade deadline? This surely won't be the final roster.
Oh no, I think we can judge it. I don't think there's going to be a significant deal. I think they will make trades.
Cardinals?
Yeah. I don't think there's going to be some significant deal. So, in other words, I'm trying to help you here. If you believe that there's going to be a significant trade that happens, and you're like waiting, like, hey, listen, I know Mo's got something. No, that's
Probably not.
It's just not his. It's not his style.
This is the team you got and team you're going to get.
And listen, you may say, "Whoa, what about the Jose Quintana and the Jordan Montgomery trades?" You didn't love those when it went down. Jamie and I were on air when the Jordan Montgomery deal broke, and I'm like, "You guys are going to like this." The text line was like, "Who the hell is this? Mo did it again. He screwed us."
I do remember that.
Like,
you're going to get Tommy Edman and Lars Newbar back, and that's essentially like making a trade.
why?
It's true.
E2, Brute, like really?
It's essentially making a trade.
You don't believe that. You're just jumping in on that crap.
It is.
It's not like making a trade.
Just wait till it happens.
You already have
team.
him. You already have him on your roster.
You haven't had him much this year.
Exactly.
Tommy Edman at all.
What would you give up? Oh, you give up nothing.
Nothing. Steven Matz. It's 3 pieces.
Steven Matz.
Back. Make your
Is he
team
still a
better.
Cardinal?
Yeah, he is. He's coming back soon.
Yeah, he's a Cardinal, all right.
Carey.
Yeah. Making a trade.
No, not at all.
That might not be it. More of a.
Do you guys think they're going to make some sort of big deal?
No.
I think they're going to add pieces.
For who?
Right.
Or whom? We did that before. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nah. We'll just keep using it however we want, quite honestly.
Yeah, whatever sounds good.
That works well for me.
Right.
Question number 5.
From the 314, thoughts on Klay Thompson heading to Dallas to join the Mavericks?
It's a sad day, man.
That's a good deal for the Warriors. He's done.
It's a sad day. That was Bay
such a
Area.
back-end.
It really was.
He's done. They got out of. I mean, they don't have to pay him.
They don't have to pay him. So, but where do you go? I mean, you
got to rebuild.
Yeah,
Retool.
Wiggins is hit or miss. He misses games here and there for
It's time, Carey.
randomness, random reasons. I don't know what this team is going to look like next year. I think you're going to get more from Moody. Moses Moody will get more playing time. He's a pretty good player, good wing player that could help them out. I'm interested. I'm really interested to see Jonathan Kuminga play more and get more minutes. Probably start from here on out. I think he's going to be really. I think he's extremely talented.
You have to turn the page, man.
But they still need a big man. Like I feel like that team is missing a big man, presence inside, defense, rebounds. Still need that, but. For Clay, it's just a sad day for Warriors and Warrior fans.
It is, but I think the Warriors did it right in just allowing him to go. And, come
Just
on,
go, man.
You can't keep running it back. He's done.
I get it now. Yeah,
the significant move over the weekend was the Sixers signing Paul George.
That was
the significant move.
And I don't know the Clippers. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Jason Tatum extended 5 years, $315 million.
There you
a lot
go.
of money.
Nice job, kid.
Congrats, kid.
Buy a lot of emos for that. And I don't mean pizzas. I mean
probably
like the
actual
Oh yeah,
building. Yeah,
Yep.
The franchise.
Way to go.
Question number 6.
This one comes from Jamie's Vacation Speedo, which I'm sure was on full display this weekend.
No, we would have seen it.
No,
Guys, I'd save it. There's a moment. It's more off air, probably.
I'm glad you processed that.
Yeah,
in
good
real
work,
time.
Dan.
Well, I was like, no.
Anyways, from the Speedo,
Jamie.
which apparently is, I guess we'll find out.
Find out. Yeah.
There may be pictures
Oh boy.
or video.
Okay. If you could go back and be at any and only one sports moment in history, what would it be?
Ooh,
Wow.
any Game 6 Jordan over Byron Westbrook.
When he pushed him out of the way.
Yeah, he didn't put.
When he
Byron
shoved
Westbrook. Byron
Westbrook.
Russell.
Yeah, Russell, yeah. You shoved him out of the way and then hit the open shot.
I mean, that moment, that's cool. Yeah.
What about Babe Ruth calling his shot?
Oh,
That's a good one.
Wilt
Sure.
scoring 100.
It's a good one.
On the court?
Well, I didn't want to be where he's. Yeah. I don't want to be.
I thought that was a weekly report.
Probably.
Wow.
This week in sports.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some of the Stanley Cup Game 7s, like all of those, like Stanley Cup Game 7s with an overtime.
Yeah.
Man.
Live there, one.
I've told you guys that story of, the Mario Lemieux goal for Team Canada when they beat the Russian team, and it was like the massive goal. So I don't know, man. It's hard to isolate just one.
Yeah.
One moment.
Like what moment had? I guess the best way would be, what moment in sports when you watched had like a significant impact on you in some way? Because it's great to look at a game and be a Game 7 overtime. Yeah, it's like, it was such an awesome thing, but had no impact.
Yeah.
on you. Because there's two teams that maybe you don't cheer for, or Super Bowl with, a dramatic ending, but maybe it's not your two teams in the final. It's a great moment, but not really impacting you. So for me, it's like that Team Canada goal that impacted me. Like in a big way. It was awesome to see it on display. It was awesome. Gretzky passing to Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux scores the goal. It's like, oh my God, like that impacted me.
Yeah.
We have a few from the text line. From the 636, when Michael Jordan entered a baseball game on a spaceship. Anthony wouldn't know anything about that. The Water Boy says, has to be 10-cent beer night baseball game.
That went. I think that went sideways, did it not? We're getting some Miracle Game, Russie from the Snake Pit. That would certainly be great.
By the way, in the Space Jam documentary, at the end of the documentary, Michael Jordan, after defeating the Monstars, then shows up at a baseball game on a spaceship. That is that reference. If that doesn't entice you to watch the documentary,
that one's tough.
I don't know what would.
Yeah. Probably.
No.
He's not interested.
No, I'm not interested.
One documentary he doesn't want to see.
The music in the documentary is amazing. Like, young Michael Jordan is playing basketball in his, I would say, his driveway or backyard.
Yeah.
All you hear is, I believe I can fly. And then by the end of the documentary, he is literally flying, and his arm extends. He looks like Mr. Fantastic.
Really?
And he dunks.
I've seen a different documentary on the music.
No.
And
Stop. Stop.
I'll tell you what.
Stop.
It does not inspire me to watch the other documentary, because that documentary on the artist from that song, Marsh, he did a lot of really bad things.
Yeah, he did.
So
he's paying for it, though.
That's what he should.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's what he should. All
Is
right.
he fighting for his life?
Yeah,
probably.
Well, maybe now.
Daily basis.
Are the Blues showing us how unfun a retool or rebuild would be for
Jesus.
the Cardinals?
Who set up this date? Eeyore? My gosh. Marshy.
This is how people feel.
I know, we've heard it for 3 hours already.
Radio is mood service, okay? People are upset. Really? Give it to them again.
Yeah, they're disgusted.
Next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, when it comes to refi, when it comes to getting that house that you're looking for and making sure that you got the right loan in place, when it comes to dealing with the Federal Reserve, you and I got a guy, and that's Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Tell him about the bagel loan.
Well, Anthony, Stewie, this is his personal creation to where if you borrow $200,000 or more, here are some of the benefits. No underwriting fees, no appraisal fees, no lender fees, and the big one, no closing costs. There are also many other perks to go along with the bagel loan. But Stewie takes care of you. That's what he does. He's got old school customer service, and the bagel loan is just one of his creations. We watched Stewie do some amazing things during the pandemic, and he was combining the bagel loan with other programs. He's always there to help you. He's always there to try and make sure that you're getting more money for whatever it is you're trying to do, whether it's debt consolidation or purchasing a home. So call him on his personal cell phone number. That number is 314-324-4440.
Again, that number is 314-324-4440.
If you can't remember that number, we were just talking about it, Anthony. What can you do?
You can always Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary. For a limited time only.
Friday. It's almost like whoever named Friday knew it should be celebrated with free fries at McDonald's. Get a free medium fries with any purchase of $1 or more on the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Valid one time on Fridays at participating McDonald's through 12/31/24. Excludes tax, must opt in for rewards.
Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Our guy Bon, who he runs the board for us. At times he does a lot of various work for the station. He had tweeted out over the weekend about the Blues retool and how it certainly would be unfun if the Cardinals were to go through a similar retool or rebuild. This is what Bond said. He goes, I knew it was going to be a rough couple of seasons for us Blues fans, but this year's free agent frenzy is making me realize just how unfun, quote unquote, it's going to be. Yeah, that would make sense. Here's the question though. Cardinals fans, some actually want to see the Cardinals go through a bit of a rebuild because it would get them out of kind of this stagnant way of roster building, which is just kind of slow, little bit, take away a little bit. Don't go over the top with stuff. Be patient. Wait, and they're never terrible. Last year was last year was a bit of an aberration. I think it was a build up to things falling apart, but still, now they're at least back in wild card contention. If you're ticked off right now and you're a Blues fan, and you want the team to do something with free agency here, but you're also somebody that if you're a Cardinals fan, you don't want to see, the team make some of the mistakes that they've made in the past. This is part of it. It's a retool. You have to kind of understand where you are with the cap. You don't want to give a bunch of 8-year contracts that could cause you to be in a situation like the Blues are now with Torrey Krug and things like that. You have to kind of play this thing out a little bit. I realize it's more fun to be Nashville today and a Predators fan with all the signings that they have. But the Blues are trying to make sure that they don't block some of their young guys and they don't get into a situation where they're hamstrung with contracts down the road.
Yeah. Look, I understand how this has been somewhat anticlimactic for Blues fans here today. The day's not over, though. And I'm not suggesting that Army has a Ryan O'Reilly trade up his sleeve, but I remember that there were a lot of people feeling the same way the year that it was David Perron and Tyler Bozak. People were like, really? That's it? And then the Ryan O'Reilly trade came. But we also have to remember that team was a team that Doug Armstrong felt like was ready to make that next step. Like Stanley Cup aspirations, those were real at that time. The roster you have right now does not resemble the roster you had when you made the Ryan O'Reilly trade, the Tyler Bozak signing, David Perron signing, Pat Maroon eventually too. This roster doesn't resemble that roster. So going to add, big pieces right now at the wrong time of your rebuild, I'll call it whatever, retool, then you're just wasting money and maybe possibly blocking some of the development of your future guys that you're going to depend on. When you look at the Predators right now, they only have $595,000 in cap space. Like, they have spent to the cap, and it's like, are they a Stanley Cup contender? I don't know. I look at their D and I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Plus, you don't know if all these pieces are going to come together here either. I don't know of a lot of teams. Again, I'm not overlooking the fact that it's exciting for this fan base to sit here and say, man, look who we got. We got Stamkos, we got all these guys now. boy, this is going to be a fun hockey season. All of the pieces have to come together, too.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are a team that just simply collects talent, it appeases the fan base until you fall short of expectations. The Lightning built a team. The Vegas Golden Knights have built a team. They didn't necessarily, I know they signed our guy Petro, but they didn't necessarily rush out in free agency and win the free agent battle. They built a team that was going to be a legit contender when the postseason came about. I agree with you. Is Nashville that team right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see Nashville as a cup contender. I just don't. I don't think their decor is equipped. Like Roman Yossi's all world. He's a great player. Brady Shea, he's fine. And then you got Alexander Carrier, Luke Shen, Dante Fabro, and Jeremy Lauzon. That ain't doing it for me.
Yeah.
You got a text here from the 314 says, just admit this is a rebuild, not a retool. What Nashville did was a retool. We're waiting and hoping on prospects.
I just called it a rebuild.
You did.
I said call it whatever the hell you want. I don't care.
But
I'm so sick of the semantics of what we're calling this right now.
But I think they're asking for the Blues to call it a rebuild because that is going to take a longer time than a retool. And I think essentially it is. I mean, you're waiting on some of these prospects to come out and be able to play at the high level that you need them to play, which is a 3 to 5 year process instead of, you missed the playoffs the last couple of years and you're not ready this year and maybe not next year to be a real playoff contending team.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. The Nashville Predators, how many players 25 years and younger do you think they have in their forward group?
3. I was going to say 3 as well.
2. How many 25 and under players on their defense corps?
0.
That's a team that's further along in the process than you right now. And it could be a team that's in a lot of hurt in a couple of years. Because I've watched their minor league team play. They've got some guys that are pretty good, but I don't know of the stars yet. Their goalie was their best player in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. So when you look at that, that tells a story. And when you look at the Blues, you've got a number of guys that could be in your lineup this year coming up that are going to be under the age of 25. And that bodes well towards this retool, rebuild, whatever you call it, just to keep everybody happy here. That, to me, means that over the next 10 years, your team could be ultimately more competitive for a longer period of time than the Predators could be.
Yeah.
And you look at the Blues roster, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forwards, and that's not counting Zach Dean. It's not counting Bolduc. There's 2 more. And on defense, you're a little older there. You only have 2 guys under the age of 25. They don't have Matthew Kessel listed here, and he'd fall into that, so it'd be 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just at different spots than the Nashville Predators, if that's what you're using as your measuring stick for the Blues today.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 at ESPN. If Cardinals fans become a championship or bust fan base, we'll get to that next. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got Tyler on the line right now. He's our last contestant for Bet the Board. What's up, Tyler?
Nothing much. How's it going?
We appreciate you listening. Thanks for playing. You and Carey Davis will be paired up for the month of July. Sound good?
Yep.
Good choice, Tyler. It's your only choice, but good choice nonetheless.
Hey, you made. There you go. All
Tyler
right.
did text in and say, I want Carey Davis.
Nice.
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah. Feels good
job, Tyler. Yeah. All right, Tyler. So listen to Bet the Board daily throughout the month of July. You'll have Carey's picks, too. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN.
Tyler
There you
wants
go.
to text in with some options. He should do that because I've been struggling. Been on a struggle bus.
You're fine, Carey.
Since
this
February.
is your month.
Is it? Okay.
When did we bring back Bet the Board? January?
Yeah, we started at the beginning of the year.
Look at us. And since that point, do you have two?
I've got two.
Marcia has
two.
I got one.
And Carey and I have one apiece. So Carey, one of us, man.
Yeah, it's our turn.
Yeah. Have the Cardinals fans or fan base, have they become a championship or bust fan base? I think there's a large portion that has become that.
I think our guy Carey Davis,
is that guy. Sits here today with us every day.
Yeah.
Are you a championship or bust guy?
I don't know that it has to be a championship, but it has to be championship caliber. Meaning,
So
I don't
like
expect
championship.
No, yeah.
Just so be a title. It just has to be like a title.
It has to be. It has to be.
I
it
like
has to
the option.
look like there's a chance to win a title. I'm a realistic person. I know you're not going to win a championship every single year. This is, it's damn near impossible unless you're, the Patriots who are there. Feel like every other year they're in the Super Bowl nine times
anymore.
But not anymore.
That's a good point.
So, but I do expect it to be championship caliber, meaning you have future Hall of Fame players. You have players that are putting out, great performances, if not every night, every other night or more nights, more often than not. And I don't feel like when I watch this team, we talked about this last week, the excitement level for when you're watching the Cardinals, it's a roller coaster. You do not know what you're going to get. One day, you get stellar pitching, stellar performance. You don't allow a run. And then the next day, you give up 11.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what... that to me is the frustrating part. And I think a lot of Cardinal fans are frustrated with that. They are, again, I don't know if it's championship or bust, but it has to be playoffs or bust. It has to be, you have to be in contention or putting forth a team that makes you feel like they can make a run in the playoffs. That's why I don't get, Jamie is, well, we're right there in the wild card. I don't give a damn. Like, I don't. So is every other team in the National League, not named the Miami Marlins and the Colorado Rockies. Every other team in the National League is in the wild card race right now. That's not the Cardinals. That's not the standard that they have set for themselves, and that's not the expectation. The expectation is you're playing in October, meaningful games, with a chance to win a championship. You're not going to win them all, but a chance to win. And that has not been the case the last, I think, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so
maybe longer.
I understand the passion that you have towards the Cardinals and wanting them to be a championship team, and I understand the passion that a lot of our listeners have. But it's not a very realistic thing. And here's why, is how many titles have the Dodgers won in the last 10 years? The
One.
COVID year, right? And everybody still puts an asterisk, it was the COVID year.
Yeah.
That's the Dodgers. And they're always going for it. They are championship or bust. So if you're the Cardinals, you're just going to spend most of the time just upset because they're not going to be able to be in the conversation year in and year out about being an actual contender.
The Dodgers also have played in NLCSs. They have made it past in the last 5 years. They lost the World Series twice. Well, let's go back to 2017. 2016. Lost the NLCS, lost the World Series, NLDS, lost.
Let's go back to 2013.
2013.
I'm talking about the last 10 years. 2013,
lost the NLCS 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They've played in the NLCS 6 times in the last 10 years.
Okay, how many
do
have
the
the
Cardinals.
Padres played in?
but
they're going for it. They spend
are.
it. They spend them.
The Padres. We don't need to do the
How
Padres.
about the Mets?
the Mets made a realization last season. They were spending too much money.
Carey, how about the Yankees?
Same, probably about around the same. Let's see. New York Yankees since 2013 ain't been great.
So my point is, I'm not sitting here trying to just be
3 since the 2013 season.
My point is, I'm not just trying to be a jerk.
No World
I'm
Series.
not. I'm just saying that, one, your market is nowhere near any of the markets that I just brought up. Except maybe San Diego. That's one that you can be like, okay, we're fine. It was pretty equal. Maybe even a bigger market here, quite honestly. Who knows? But I just think that sometimes, like, the expectations of championship or bust, I find that to be heavy. And I'm not satisfied with 500 baseball. Trust me. I'm not.
Are you satisfied with
wild card?
Yeah.
No, I'm really not.
Okay.
I'd like to get them to a real divisional playoff series. And then, yeah, of course, an NLCS would be wonderful.
It's ideal. It's wonderful. But the feeling of just making it or not making it is I think that's the level of frustration that Cardinal fans have. It's not, you don't have to win a championship every single year. No one is expecting that. No one realistically should be expecting that. But competing and putting yourself in a position to make a run throughout the playoffs where something magical can happen, that's the expectation. And if that's not what we're receiving, then Cardinal fans are a bit frustrated.
All right, so my question would be, by what measuring stick besides the results do you feel good about it? Because, of course, the results are the only thing that matters, right? But if we're gonna give the Cardinals a fighting chance here, what is it about their roster building that makes you feel like they're a contender? Because, to Jamie's point, in free agency, I'm not just asking this of Carey, I'm asking this of anybody. To Jamie's point, if you're the Padres, like the Padres have done everything right then. Everything. They have been aggressive with trades. They have been aggressive in free agency. They've been aggressive in signing their own like top tier talent. They gave Fernando Tatis Jr. a massive contract. They've done it correctly, quote unquote, right? So does it take that? Where they're going after top names like the Yankees always used to do to appease their fan base? And I'm asking this is not a rhetorical question. Right. Like what is it? Because for me, I'll just start with myself here. I've said this for years now. This is a front office that is so petrified to make that big move that they just make those little small incremental moves along the way. When a Paul Goldschmidt, who everybody and their brother knows that was not going to be able to, the Diamondbacks are not going to bring him back. When that pops up, they'll put a trade package together there. They got lucky with Nolan Arenado when they did, because Arenado was so disgusted with Colorado's front office, he wanted out, and it sounds like he was only going to go to a certain couple of places, Cardinals being one of them, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not overlooking those moves, but the majority of the time, the Cardinals are going to make that safe play. Everybody should have seen the Dexter Fowler move. Everyone. Needed a center fielder. Who's the top guy? Dexter Fowler's not going to cost you over $100 million. They're going to sign him. Even Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray, great, excellent signing. We're not talking about a franchise that stepped out and said, we're going to give somebody $150 million. They love that $70 to $85 million free agent. They're comfortable with it.
It's safe.
It's safe.
Yeah.
So when I say, it's kind of a mediocre product, you're not going to go too far away from 500. Like last year, that was rough. This year, like that to me, that's what I get frustrated about. It's not necessarily that they're not trying. They're trying. They just do it in the most safe, boring ass way possible.
Would you rather the Cardinals be what the Padres are and sign all those players, those named players, give them huge contracts, and still? So you're okay with? Because for me, I would probably be okay with that. That to me looks like you're trying to give the fan base what they desire most, which is a championship.
Sure.
And that's on the players who are being paid tons of money to perform at the level that they are expected to based on their contract. If they are unable to, I can't blame the ownership for saying, you all don't know what you're doing. No, these guys are the best in the game. They're paid as such, and they aren't performing to the level consistently enough for this team to win a championship. Whereas if you're the Cardinals and you're a Cardinal fan and you're looking and eyeballing other organizations and franchises and saying, well, damn, they're spending money on their guys. And then you look here and you say, what you just said, it's fine. Right. It's good. But is it enough?
People are going to hate when I say this because the postseason success has not been there. So just hang with me for a second here. You asked me, would I rather see him be the Padres? No, I don't think that's a smart way to go about it. The Padres are proving it. You can't just go out there and get any big time player, trade for him, sacrifice your future. The bill comes due. And for San Diego, I'm surprised they've been able to hang on this long, and it hasn't worked. Believe it or not, I would love to see the Cardinals be a version of the Brewers or the Rays. Be the smartest damn team in Major League Baseball, then use what market you do have, because St. Louis is a bigger market than Milwaukee, bigger market than Tampa Bay. Then use your market to go out and sign somebody that will put you over the top. But first, be the smartest team in the league. Milwaukee, if you look at the roster, You're not like, wow, holy smokes, Bryce, so you guys got Turang? Holy God. Joey Ortiz? But they do it in a smart way. They're still at first place again. Now they get their ass kicked in the postseason because they don't have what it takes. They don't have the roster that's going to put them over the top. But they're a hell of a lot closer than you are. I would rather have the Cardinals spend little money, but be the smartest team that picks everybody's pocket like Tampa does, and then go out and add somebody because they can, but they do it in a smart way. Don't be Tampa and Milwaukee like, we're not going to spend any money. Mm-hmm. But, God, I hate this, like, in the road. Hey, we did spend, Yeah, you spent on, it's okay. Yeah, okay. That's fine. You're not going to go with the high-end stuff. Yeah. Like, I'm going to go over your house.
So then don't do it.
Exactly.
Be one or the other.
Correct.
Yeah.
I've said this for years now, but you do actually have to be the smart team, though.
Right.
You do have to pick somebody's pocket. You do have to be one of those teams like Milwaukee does, where Milwaukee, they wind up with a. How the hell do you get William Contreras? Mm-hmm. How do you get Willy Adames? How? Those are trades.
Right.
And they didn't give up much in either deal. Willy Adames in the middle of their damn lineup. William Contreras, middle of their lineup. So that's what I would like to see. Be a smart organization, not one that's a Padres like, watch this. Here's my church bells. I'm gonna put them on the table. It's not like you're not proving anything when you. Who's the top guy available? Juan Soto. Okay, what do we have in the farm system? Let's give it up. Then you got to trade the guy a year later because you can't sign him. Mm-hmm. That's not proving anything to me. We can do that. We, the Fast Lane, could go.
I don't know if we can afford Juan Soto.
No, I don't mean pay for him. I mean make the deal.
Okay. Yeah, I don't pay for him.
That's where I'm at least. All right. Biggest question of the day is next on 101 ESPN.
Gentlemen, are you currently using ED meds? Odds are you're paying too much for those ED meds. Get to the Medicine Shop in St. Charles. They are your destination for cheap ED meds. You got a generic called Sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. Prescription required, of course. And get in there and say hi to them. The representatives are awesome. They're going to take great care of you. Any questions that you have, they're going to do their best to come up with the right answers for you. It's allergy season for me, and I was taking a medicine that wasn't working. Got in there, talked to the Medicine Shop at St. Charles, all their representatives. They suggested a different brand for me, and it's been fantastic. It's been working great, and that's the kind of care you're going to get from my friends over at the Medicine Shop. And also, if you take a medicine that you require on a daily basis or a frequent basis and you can't get to the pharmacy will come to you. The Medicine Shop offers free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace. It's an awesome program. I use it and couldn't be happier. So please get in there in person or visit them online at their new website. That's stcharles.medicineshop.com. That's stcharles.medicineshop.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals, they split with the Cincinnati Reds over the weekend, a 4-game series. They did beat the Reds yesterday. 2-0 was the final score. They have tonight off, but they'll take on the Pittsburgh Pirates tomorrow, 5:40. First pitch. The Blues, they traded Kevin Hayes to Pittsburgh along with a 2025 second-round draft pick for future considerations. They also re-signed Kasperi Kapanen to a 1-year, $1 million deal. And over the weekend at the NHL draft, they made 9 selections. Adam Juracek was the first pick for the Blues. They got him at 16th overall. Also, City SC has let go Bradley Carnell as the club's head coach as they lost 4-3 to Vancouver. We talked about that earlier in the show. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have our biggest question of the day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Time for the biggest question of the day. Here's Andrew Marsh.
All right, I saw this on Twitter from David Pagnotta, who is usually on BK and Ferrario Apparently, he is a fan favorite. Anyways, he tweeted out Preds GM Barry Trotz on signing Steven Stamkos. When I became GM of the Predators, I said many times that I was looking to add serial winners to our franchise. And there's perhaps no one who fits that mold more than Steven Stamkos. We're incredibly excited to sign a Hall of Fame player in person on what is now a massive day for the future of our organization. Having twice won the Stanley Cup as a captain, Steven is a proven winner and leader who will make us a better team on the ice with his production and in the locker room as someone for our younger players to learn from. We talked about what that looks like from the Predators, and who knows if this is actually going to be a good signing when all said and done. But we've talked about it multiple times with the Cardinals, bringing in quote-unquote veteran leadership. Do you think the Blues need more of that? And do you think they need to bring in, if they do bring in an older guy, does it need to be like a Stanley Cup winner?
I don't, Jamie, maybe it's a hockey thing. I don't understand what cereal they eat. What matters.
Not with the C.
I mean, there's a lot of different kind of cereals.
There is.
Not with the C, with an S.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like a serial killer.
Yeah. But a winner. A guy that does any and everything to win. You want those guys? Not that far.
Okay.
But do whatever it takes to get the W, and hates to lose. Hates losing more than they love winning.
Yeah.
It's a kind of a sicko.
I think they should sign a bunch of those guys.
I agree.
Not a cereal like Captain Crunch.
No.
Like Steven Stamkos, he was the captain of the Lightning. The Crunch, I believe, is Syracuse Crunch, is the AHL affiliate of the Lightning. Am I wrong? I could be wrong.
You're right. Wow.
Captain Crunch.
You put that all together.
Wow.
I don't.
Captain Crunch jacks up the roof of your mouth, though.
It's actually delicious, though.
It does.
You like it?
I love the taste.
What?
It's not magically delicious.
No, it's not.
It is amazing.
I love the taste of it, and then I love the taste of my own blood as it tears the roof of my mouth apart.
It's well worth it, Jimmy.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well,
why is the milk red? It doesn't matter. It's so good. Yep. Anyways, if we're talking about serial winners or veteran guys that are champions, the Blues still have several on their roster. You got Thomas, you got Shen, you got Saad, you got Sundqvist. These are guys that have all won a Stanley Cup. On the back end, you've got Parayko, you've got Nick Leddy. Torrey Krug's been to a Stanley Cup final. Jordan Binnington's a Stanley Cup champ. I don't think you're just going to sign a guy because you need another veteran that's won it. You got enough guys that can tell you what it's like to win it and what you need to do to win it. So, look, do I think that they could use a little more veteran presence, especially when you're adding young players? Yeah, but I'm firmly standing in the fact that they need some grit. This team needs more grit.
They need a guy like Pat Maroon, right, Anthony?
Well, he went to the Blackhawks, though, so he's
signed with the Blackhawks. It's a tough day for St. Louis people because
not all of them.
Our guy Pat Maroon, who is obviously St. Louis's favorite.
Pride of Oakville.
Now he's a Chicago Blackhawk.
That's rough.
The Maroon household has got to be torn on this one.
It's not bad for all St. Louis guys. Jason Tatum had a pretty good day.
Yeah. You know what, though? I did see a picture of Yadier Molina.
$314 million is a pretty good day.
If you like that type of thing.
314.
Yadier Molina, saw a picture on Twitter of him wearing Cubs stuff.
Head to toe in Cubs gear.
His child, the youth team, is called the Cubs, Anthony, much like your children or your child plays for the Astros.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's an Astro.
He's wearing all Cubs stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
That's rough. Yeah, that'd be I'd rather be an Astro than a Cub.
You gotta be that off-brand Cubs.
Trust me, Anthony, you are an Astro.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Blues, anyways, getting back to the biggest question, I think that if the right veteran leadership with a little extra sandpaper in their
jam is what I like to call them.
Yeah. I like that word.
Yeah.
I think that would be fine. I don't know if the Blues, to me, were not ever in the running to be signing a Steven Stamkos. I mean,
he's too old for you, right, Jamie? Not for you personally, but for the Blues.
Can he score 30 goals next year? Yeah, he could. But, year 2, year 3, year 4 of that deal, I don't know, $8 million of your cap. All of this brings me back, though, to, what is the Pavel Buchnevich deal going to look like? Because at least if you're given $8 million for Stamkos, he scored 40 goals last year. He had 81 points. And even though he's older, but he still produced like that. You know, Buch, he made 5.8 this past season. If it goes up to 8, how long's the deal? Like, if it was 4 times 8, okay, you match that Stamkos deal. I'm okay with that. If you go to like 7 or 8 years, I worry.
He's probably not looking for 4 years.
No, he's definitely not looking for 4 years. He's going to be looking for 7 or 8 years. So we'll see what Magic Army can come up with there for that one.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Speaking of us, we will once again square off against the Rizzuto Show from 105.7 The Point at this year's Softball Home Run Derby, hosted by the O'Fallon Hoots on Saturday, July 27th. That's going to be at Carshield Field out in O'Fallon Mo. There will be a fast pitch home run derby that night. Ank will be there. Rick Ankiel will be there. Brian Jordan will be there, and more MLB alum. Gate tickets are now, or gate tickets, I guess it is gate tickets, but
sure.
General admission
There's a gate
tickets.
somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. General admission tickets are on sale for just $15. It's all brought to you by Swiss Air Heating and Cooling, Faster House, and Zwickle Light. Get all the details on this year's O'Fallon Hoots Home Run Derby now at 101ESPN.com. We've got Bet the Board, 3 stars of the day, and criticisms and compliments next on 101 ESPN.
Stella Artois and Hot Ones are partnering up for hot wings and hot trivia questions here in St. Louis. Make sure you sign up now to compete in, well, there's 2 rounds left of trivia where the questions get more and more difficult and the wings get hotter. We had a great time at Cyberg's last Thursday on Dorset Road, and it was fun. The trivia questions were challenging. The contestants had a good time. The sauces definitely got hotter as things went on, but it really was a fantastic time. And all you can do, if you want to get involved, visit any Cyberg's or Hot Shots location. There's a little QR code that they have inside. Just scan that, sign up, and you can also then compete for a grand prize at the end of all of it. There's a great staycation grand prize. That's 2 nights stay at Live by Lowe's Hotel. So many other things also available. You're not going to want to miss it. Please, again, go to Cyberg's or Hot Shots, sign up, be a part of it, have a great time, and enjoy some hot ones and some hot wings. And, of course, wash it down with that great Stella Artois, brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. Check it out right now at Cyberg's or Hot Shots.
missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. New month. Congratulations to Jamie. He won last month. Nice job there,
Thanks,
Jamie.
guys. I know you don't really mean it, but I appreciate that.
We're competitors.
Andy appreciates it.
Andy does. Yeah, so we drafted new contestants. So here we go. Jamie, you won last month, so it'll be Jamie, me, Marsh, and then Carey.
All right. Not a lot going on in the sporting world tonight, guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, almost nothing.
I got the Astros.
The Astros play tonight?
Yeah, they're going to be up in Toronto. I got them a 3-1 winner.
They're already playing.
Oh,
They're already playing.
Anthony,
Yeah.
you're funny.
Funny guy. So I'm going out to the Brewers and the Rockies game.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Gomber on the bump for Colorado.
Oh, this game just started.
What's that?
The Mets and
Nationals just started. I was going to pick something from that game.
Oh, don't throw me off before my game starts or something.
Not bad. Go ahead.
All right, 3.5 strikeouts is the over-under for Austin Gomber. We're going under with that one. Sorry,
Probably
Carey.
good call.
Yeah, and I got my pick in. It's official, so if they throw the first pitch in 5
No,
minutes...
you're good. 7:40 is that game. All right, I'm going to take Rhys Hoskins over 1.5 total bases. It's at minus 120. Yeah, Rhys Hoskins minus 120 over
1.5.
1.5.
That's a lot of bags.
2 singles, a double, a home run, a triple. It'll all get it done.
All right.
Yeah, Rhys Hoskins over 1.5 total bases.
What do you got, Marshall?
I guess I'm going back to the W. Man, the Connecticut Sun, they lost a bad one the other day.
They're a 9.5-point favorite, Marsh.
I don't love it. I don't love it one
They lost
bit.
to the Atlanta Dream.
They did. I think they're going to bounce back tonight against the Phoenix Mercury. I have them at -3.
-3?
-3.
What, Carey?
Freddie. I thought he's Freddie Mercury.
No. By the way, that's a little jacked up. The Connecticut Sun will be in Phoenix to take on the Mercury. It's a tough one.
Yeah, difficult. I'm going to go Austin Gomber. Also, since Jamie took mine, outs recorded under 15.5. It's minus 115.
All right, there you go.
Pardon me, -3.5, not -3. It's at -3.5 at -110.
Marsh, very honorable there to give yourself the hook. This is what I was talking about in the break, guys.
This is why you
Without
can't.
Marsh, who's got the biggest heart of anybody, it would just be 3 psychopaths doing a radio show.
That wouldn't be good.
No. All right, Marsh, what do you got for criticisms and compliments and or 3 stars of the day?
We got a text from the 636 that just says USA, USA, USA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we want to chant that, we could.
USA, USA, USA. Best country in America.
That's a good point.
If not the world, Marsh.
Okay, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day goes out to Freaky Friday.
Yeah, because Jamie would be inside of Marsh, and Marsh would be inside of Jamie.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, you guys also said you wanted
We
to.
all entered Marshall.
We did. At different times.
Anthony just said he's a good kid.
Good kid. No, Carey, you were there.
I wasn't.
Yeah, Carey, honestly, you might have been the first one.
Carey, you were there. We had the conversation. You remember it.
I feel like I wouldn't be such a nice guy anymore if you guys took over my body.
No, probably not. No, you'd be tainted.
Marcia, I'd take great care of you.
Well, I'm sure you would. As I would take care of you.
Exactly.
Anyways. All right, our 2nd star of the day goes out to the greatest country in America, the United States of America.
That's right.
2nd star, I guess not good enough to be the 1st star. That's because the 1st star of the day goes out to Jamie's liver.
Held strong. Long weekend.
Nice.
You going to give that thing a break tonight or what?
We'll see. Got all the kids tonight, so we'll see.
Maybe not.
Oh, Jamie. All right, that'll do it for us. We've got an instant replay show coming up for you from 6 to 7 tonight. Little Little mention for tomorrow. We've got the blue and white prospect scrimmage starting at 6 tomorrow. So it's the Blues prospect scrimmage.
And we're going to be at Centene on Wednesday.
Centene on Wednesday. That's right. We're going to be broadcasting live from Centene. But tomorrow we will air the blue and white prospect scrimmage. No Cardinals games tonight, boys. This is going to be an interesting night.
Yeah, it should be a good night. Get some good sleep.
There's no way. What time are you going to bed tonight, Marsh?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question. I still have a few shows to catch up on.
Sure. What do you average?
3 o'clock's a good number.
3 o'clock.
Oh, time to get up. Like 10?
Yeah, like 10:30, 11.
Man.
Depends.
3 a.m. When was the last time you saw 3 a.m.?
I think I saw it a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw it.
When you meant it was a little blurry for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have my glasses.
Yeah,
you know?
that makes sense.
That's,
Yeah. For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. We appreciate everybody listening today. We'll see you tomorrow. See ya.